the majority of Kenyans learn whether they're going to buy fuel in terms of the prices for the next 1 month. What is it going to be? We've seen the president say that his hands are tied on this particular issue. We've also seen the minister or the CS, Ministry of Treasury and National Planning, say that indeed we might get to see 300 shillings for a litre of fuel in the country on the back of the Hamas and Israel skirmishes. For us now, it's just to talk about exactly what has been happening in this government for quite some time. We do know that majority of you are disgruntled with some of the announcements that have been coming from the government. Today, we put everything into proper perspective. We ask ourselves the question, which way forward? What has it been so far since we started this year? Looking forward to a debate that's going to happen right here on our studios this morning, all the way to 10 a.m. For now, I want us to essentially look at exactly what it is that you're waking up to this morning in terms of your newspapers. My name is Sabah Elijah Charles Kieg. All right. Let's then look at exactly what it is that you're waking up to this morning in terms of your newspapers. And we're going to start with the Standard this morning briefly. Then, before we look at what it is that we are talking about this morning in terms of our newsroom, there is the big headline on the Standard this morning on the intrigues behind the 17 billion mystery petrol saga in the country. Now, the Kenya Ports Authority has said the oil cargo belongs to Aramco. Another Anjeri was still missing. Now, KPA claims it had no dealings with Anjeri's company. Read that story on page 9 this morning. There's also the news about how suppliers delivered the mosquito nets this morning. Now, Ministry of Health will undertake a mass distribution of the nets, and also Global Fund awarded tender to different company. This is a story that essentially makes the front page, because indeed we do know exactly how the story did see some officials from KEMSA go home, and even some PSs as well go home. Climate 1 tree at a time. That story covered on pages 4, 6, 7, 8 and 21. This morning the story is, did you plant a tree? Even did not, then indeed you're going to read exactly it. 150 million, the number of trees the government had intended to plant yesterday. Whether we met that figure or not is still outside there. Now, there's a story here about former Education CS. Mago has 250 million shillings in life, but 150 in death. Now, widow of late minister has told the court her husband was worth 100 million shillings less than he had declared in a parliament during his vetting. That story has been covered on a page 2. Now, official push then for mobile labs to ease the excess congestion. That story again has been covered on page 12 of the Standard this morning. Let's swiftly again cross over to the Daily Nation so we get to see exactly what it is that they have headlined on here. We're talking about the forgery claim in 17 billion fuel saga. This actually does go on, and it's a story that is proper this morning, or you can actually put into perspective, because today is the day that you're waiting for EPRA to tell you how much you're going to get your fuel. And right here, the same story that the Standard covered this morning has been covered by the Daily Nation. So read deep into that. Green future, Ruto sets Kenya on path to 15 billion trees target. Beautiful pictures there of President William Ruto taking part in the tree planting exercise yesterday. And on the right side of the Daily Nation this morning, top players jostle for upcoming JSC vacancy. Read that particular story on page 10. And there's a story here of how woman swims across flooded Tana River to deliver son in a hospital. That story covered on page 3. There's a story here on Healthy Nation, on how our brother became a bother. Read that particular story again on the Daily Nation this morning. Now, do you remember, majority of the stories have been covered on our website on www.lookuptv.co.ke. Once you're there, a like, subscription, and a comment is all that we would like. For now, we take a tiny breather. Once we come back, I'll be taking you straight to the newsroom so we get to see some of the biggest stories that you're also waking up to this morning. All right, welcome back. Now, police officers in Kakamega are holding a woman for allegedly strangling her 2-month-old daughter and dumping the body in a pit latrine around the Elite area on the outskirts of Kakamega town. The suspect, Flavin Anyanga, aged 23, is reported to have had constant wrangles with her husband, who is a border rider, before she resorted to killing a child.
They are gathered here to mourn the death of a young child whose life was cut short by the biological mother and the body thrown into a pit latrine. Flavia Nyanga's decision to end the life of her child is perplexing, leaving the villagers in utter shock.
Toka kwenye alitoka, hatujui kama alikuwa na mtoto ama hapana. Sasa kumbe huyu msichana ako na bwana Ikonyero huko, kijana wa tuktuk. Alikuwa anatoka, wakati alitoka kwa nyumba hapa, akaenda kwa mwanaume huko Ikonyero. Na kumbe alikuwa ameua mtoto, na kumbe ametupa kwa choo hapa na sisi hatujui. Akasema mtoto alikufa, lakini sasa nimemweka tu huko nyumbani kwa choo.
What drew their curiosity is that Flavian was seen without the child in the evening, leading to the villagers to be concerned. Further questioning and investigations led them to pit latrine, where they removed the body from the latrine and handed it over to the police, who moved it to Kakamega morgue for an autopsy.
Yeye walikuwa wameshatupa ndani hako, hana nguo, walitupa nyenda zimekula, tukafunga na waya, tukatoa mtoto ndani.
Mwili imekaka, imeoza kiasi, madudu zimekula.
The in-laws say Flavian's family attempted to swipe the issue under the carpet by trying to convince the residents and the deceased paternal family not to give information to the police, but instead have the issue resolved at home.
Kwa hivyo ni kama alinyonga mtoto juu anasema kitu saa 1 kamili alitoka na mtoto. Bila wamemuoji wenye walienda huko, wanasema alikuja na mtoto. Anasema wakati alienda kwa duka, akitoka huko alipata mtoto amezimia kwa kiti. Kwa hivyo bila mtoto alikuwa amezimia kwa kiti, akashindwa nifanye nini. Akachukua mtoto akatembea naye polepole, akaenda hapo nyuma. Hivyo ndio alikuwa anaeleza. Kwa hivyo kuenda hapo nyuma, nikidhani ndiye alichukua nafasi akafinyilia mtoto wapi? Ndani ya choo.
Regan Lemeguran, Lookuptv.
Kadashareza kama lieli. Angaje tu bila alikuwa ameenda akaye tu sisi baki na nini na mtoto. Huyu ni mtoto.
Now, 46 people have died so far across the country due to the ongoing heavy rains that have caused a lot of destruction across the country. All right, this is according to Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, was called for caution and adherence to directives issued by the security officers on areas prone to flooding and landslides to avert accidents during this El Nino period.
As floods continue to pound different parts of the country, Kenyans have been called upon to move to higher grounds. The rains, which have led to destruction of property and loss of life, have been causing havoc since they began 2 weeks ago. Roads have been rendered impassable, homes flooded, and sadly, lives lost as a result.
We have lost 46 people because of drowning, because of floods, and we don't want any single Kenyan to lose their life. Take caution. Evacuate. When our officers tell you to evacuate from flooded areas, from areas which are prone to landslide in other parts of the country, comply. And if you don't comply, we will force you to comply so that we can save your lives.
Interior CS Kithure Kindiki called for caution and adherence to directives issued by security officers on areas prone to flooding and landslides to avert accidents during this El Nino period.
Tunaendelea kuonya watu wetu wasiingiliane sana na maji. Maji ni hatari. Ukiona mvua, ukiona msongamano wa maji, kaa mahali huko mpaka upate msaada. Usijiingize kwa mto ama mafuriko ya maji, kwa sababu hata inchi moja ya maji ambayo inatembea iko na nguvu kiasi na inaweza kusababisha maafa. Na niseme katika taifa letu la Kenya tayari tumepoteza watu 46 kwa sababu ya mafuriko katika sehemu nyingi, sehemu mbalimbali katika nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Kindiki assured that the government has collaborated with various key stakeholders including county governments and non-governmental organizations to help Kenyans.
Hii mvua ambayo inatusaidia tupande na tukuze miti, vile imekuja na mambo ya IDPs. Na mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba serikali inatambua kuna wananchi ambao wametolewa makwao kwa sababu ya mafuriko. Tumeshirikiana na washikadau wakiwemo wenzetu kutoka shirika la Msalaba Mwekundu kuhakikisha kwamba chakula ya kutosha imekuja hapa, na mimi naunga mkono mambo ambayo gavana wetu Excellency Nadhif Jama amesema. Serikali kuu itaunga mkono serikali ya county, ile chakula ambayo iko hapa ndio ifikie wananchi mahali wapo. I want to assure you no Kenyan will die because of displacement, because of floods, and we in partnership with county government and the Red Cross and other organizations will make sure that food reaches our people wherever they are.
Kindiki was speaking during a tree planting drive in northern Kenya, where he also promised to deal with the insecurity issues, which has been a problem for Kenyans.
Now, President William Ruto Monday led the tree planting exercise in Makueni County as the nation marked its National Tree Planting Day. Ruto and his cabinet led the exercise in different parts of the country as the administration targets to plant 15 billion trees by the end of its term. President Ruto earlier on spoke at the United Nations office in Gigiri, Nairobi, during the opening of the third session of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee on Ending Plastic Pollution, where he emphasized on the importance of greening the nation.
After officially declaring Monday as a public holiday for planting trees across the country through the Cabinet Secretary of Internal Security Kithure Kindiki, the journey to 15 billion trees kicked off today as President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua launched the activity of planting more than 150,000 trees in Kiu wetland in Makindu, Makueni County.
This assignment of planting trees across Kenya is not about age, it's not about religion, it's not about party, it's not about the area you come from. It is about us as a nation and our future and the future of our environment and the future of our food security as a country.
The national was on a green future affair as other cabinet secretaries traveled far and wide, ensuring the whole nation muddled itself to save the future.
During this green holiday is the fact that conserving our environment is everybody's business.
This report, nimekupatia Your Excellency. This report was forwarded to me by CS Soipan about this wetland. It is the only source of clean water for us. Ile yangu na Governor Olelenko hatujakubaliana bado. Bado tunamenyana kiasi. Lazima uweke kidole ndio tunyoroshe hiyo maji ifike Makueni.
President Ruto and his deputy vowed to give planting of trees a priority so as to face the challenges of climate changes in the country by producing more seedlings and planting more trees.
All of us must work together in concert so that we protect our environment by doing the necessary, planting trees, preserving our wetlands, making sure that all water towers are protected, are fenced off.
CS Kindiki launched the national tree growing exercise in Garissa County while more than 300,000 trees are expected to be planted in the northeastern region, with a goal of 100,000 trees in each county, namely Garissa, Mandera and Wajir. Each of the 441 chiefs in the region will oversee the process of planting and growing at least 680 trees in their areas.
This is going to be a culture in our country, and we want to say, as Ministry of Interior, we have directed our chiefs and our assistant chiefs under the supervision of their superiors to make sure that they inculcate the culture of tree planting, tree growing, so that we can save our country from the ravages of climate change, including drought and floods.
Kindiki, in company of Governor Nadhif Jama, Principal Secretary for Administration of the National Police Service Bani Sialal Lemediket, Secretary National Administration Beverly Apora, and other officials of national and county government reiterated that the thorny issue of the climate change in the country is one among the 5 major security threats facing the nation, including terrorism, banditry, and livestock rustling, trade, use and abuse of illicit alcohol, narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, and cultural, religious and political extremism.
Climate change as a serious threat to our national security, and we have defined climate change as one of the 5 major security threats facing our country today.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Now, as the country marked its National Tree Planting Day, Cabinet Secretaries, leaders and Kenyans at large took it upon themselves to secure the nation's future by planting trees with an aim of planting and growing the trees to President William Ruto's target of 15 billion trees by 2032. And as a Mevin Getembe now reports, Monday 13th was a green affair as Kenyans engaged in the activity that sought to green the nation.
A nation on Monday woke up to plant trees for the future. The journey to a green nation that can stand the effects of climate change kick-started early Monday morning with President William Ruto calling it a working holiday. Kenyans marked the National Tree Planting Day with Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki leading Garissa residents in the exercise as Public Service CS Moses Kuria and the Governor of Nandi Stephen Sang led Nandi residents in the exercise, all stressing on the importance of planting trees.
Kwa hivyo tumesema ya kwamba machifu wote na manaibu wao katika Jamhuri ya Kenya wataendelea kuhusika na kuhamasisha wananchi katika kupanda miti katika kata zao na kata ndogo zao. This is going to be a culture in our country, and we want to say, as Ministry of Interior, we have directed our chiefs and our assistant chiefs under the supervision of their superiors.
Mwaka uliopita Kenya ilipoteza mifugo ya dola bilioni 1.8 katika mambo ya kiangazi. Tukiathirika na mambo ya ubadiliko ya hali ya anga, inaathiri sisi.
Ile shida tuko nayo hapa ni kwamba wakati tunafungua forest ambayo inafanyiwa timber harvesting happens, wale wanakuja kuharvest ni watu kutoka nje. Wananchi wa hapa ambao wako na interest na katika harvesting ya hiyo miti hawapewi nafasi. Sasa sisi tunachunga miti, tunachunga forest, alafu wakati ya kuharvest wenye wanakuja ni sawmillers kutoka nje.
Immigration and Citizen Services Secretary Ambassador Julius Bitok led Turkana residents where more than 2,000 trees were planted in the El Kales Center field in Lodwar town. Bitok noted that Turkana is one of the dry counties that have been mostly affected by drought, and the government agenda will help curb this pandemic.
For Turkana it is very important because when we plant more trees, we shall be able to get more water, we get more grassland for animals, we get more better environment, so that those trees will help us actually reduce conflict with our neighbors. It will help us have more water, grazing land for animals, and that by a large extent will even bring peace. So
The scenes were similar in West Pokot County, leaders leading residents in the journey to 15 billion trees.
Rais wetu ambaye ndio party leader wa UDA alitembea na manifesto yake akisema kwamba ni lazima akichaguliwa atatimiza hiyo manifesto. Na baadhi ya vitu ambazo zilikuwa kwa hiyo manifesto ilikuwa kwamba atapanda miti bilioni 15 kwa miaka 10. Na ni muhimu sisi kama chama tuweze fuatilia zile promises ambazo rais alikuwa amesema during campaign.
Today, planted over 10,000 trees at Machakos County at the Open University of Kenya, where the Vice Chancellor Professor Elijah Omwega said this was the beginning of a major project that will turn the entire Technopolis grounds green.
We have already planted 10,000 trees with a team of people from the Open University, the Konza Technopolis themselves, and partners from the Rotarian Club of Karen. They say in Kiswahili, mwenda pole hajikwai. We also know that slow by slow, we're able to get the measure done.
And finally, Engapuno Cowboy Park, Kajiado, in conjunction with Stephen Leto Foundation and Lookuptv, had a great day today this afternoon in planting of trees in Kajiado County, being one of the counties that is highly affected by drought, saying it is a great initiative in saving the environment.
Planting a tree, let's save our environment.
Mevin Getembe, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Right, let's move on this morning, where Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale has attacked Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for alleged meddling with Western politics. Speaking on Monday during the nationwide tree planting exercise in Kakamega, the senator warned the DP against interfering with the sugar sector, which many residents from the region depend on.
Yes. Kwanza huyo deputy president ameingia na kasumba kwa kichwa yake. And because he's a deputy president, yeye ndiye anapanga Ruto, sijui Malala, sijui Kawaya kule nini, sijui Omar Hassan Mombasa, atinenda ni kusukume Luya Land na wewe Ukambani ndio ufuruke senior politicians kwa hiyo area, ndio 2032 ikifika hawa senior wasinisuie mimi deputy president. Listen to me, whether you like it or not, in 2032 wakati uliona Uhuru akatoka na Ruto akaingia, safari Ruto anatoka na Muluya anafanya nini? It has to be clear. Nobody at the national level or at the county level is going to play cheap politics on us. Because in masomo international kumera deputy president. Nikali ni uzoefu wa siasa. Yenze niko na experience of politics 4 times more than the deputy president. He must respect our community. We are not a small community. We are a community of 7 million people.
Umoja One Kenya party leader Raila Odinga has challenged President William Ruto to look for alternative means of generating revenue for development in the country instead of taxing Kenyans. Odinga accused President Ruto of frustrating poor Kenyans with taxes, saying taxation is not a remedy for solving the development needs of Kenyans. The former premier spoke in Homa Bay County during the ODM recruitment drive, where he also engaged in tree planting activities as the nation marked the Tree Planting Day.
ODM leader Raila Odinga led the ODM registration drive in Homa Bay. It is in this exercise that the former Prime Minister aimed his gun at the government for the rising cost of living and taxes.
You cannot build an economy through taxation. You cannot build an economy through over-taxation of the poor. That's how not to do it. To stimulate a stagnating economy, to stimulate an economy that is under recession, you need to put money in the people's pockets. You need to introduce programs like Kazi Mtaani, Kazi kwa vijana, so that money is put in the pocket of the youth.
I want to extend an invitation to William Ruto to come to Homa Bay, to come and visit Gladys Wanga, so that he can learn how you can raise revenue without raising taxes. I want William Ruto.
The opposition leader said Kenyans are already overwhelmed by the high cost of living, yet the Kenya Kwanza administration had kept imposing taxes on them now and again.
Every child born in our country should have a right to food, right to shelter, right to education, and right to quality health, and right to employment. We want to show that it can be done. We know how to organize an economy. We know how to organize and run a growing economy that will be able to offer employment for all the youth of our country.
Odinga said families can no longer meet their daily needs due to the increased taxation on basic commodities. Odinga accused Ruto of failing in his role of reducing the cost of living for Kenyans. Instead, he urged Ruto to revive job opportunities like Kazi kwa Vijana and Kazi Mtaani to enhance circulation of money in the country. Odinga was speaking on Monday when he launched an ODM party registration drive to counter infiltration of UDA party in his Nyanda stronghold. The former Prime Minister also planted a tree after he launched the NGCDF offices in the county. Brian Amwai, Lookuptv.
So let's ask the question. It is November the 14th of 2023. Today is a very important day. A day that the president has to talk to Kenyans on why the cost of living has to be the way it is. Everybody's looking at the EPRA. What is going to be the cost of fuel for the next 1 month. But other than that, again, all the service charges in the country are rising. You do know that indeed processing an ID, if it were not for the High Court, would have been at 1,000 shillings and 2,000 shillings if you lose it. The question this morning is going to be, as we come to the end of this year, where is President William Ruto and his government? This noise that we've been hearing from the ground, is it a reality or it is just what it is? Remember, the president has come up with some very good quotes this year, all the way to the latest one. My hands are tied. This morning, let's put it in proper perspective. We do have an entire time to talk about it. I'll be introducing the guests who are joining us shortly. Join us online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. Good morning.
Welcome to Zahara Gardens, located in the serene Rosegate Nashu area of Dagoretti Motarakwa Road at Shell Lusingeti. Zahara Gardens is a haven of tranquility, margin affordability and wholesome family living. What's more, it is conveniently located just 300 meters off the proposed Rosegate Nashu Suswa Link Road, currently being tarmacked. You simply cannot afford to miss this deal of a lifetime. To book a plot, call 0723 979797 or visit us on 4th Avenue Towers along 4th Ngong Avenue off Bishop Road. Zahara Gardens is a product of Fusion Estates. Fusion Estates, your land ownership partner.
Introducing the Kenya Trade Fair Fusion Sales Drive event in the heart of Nairobi at the Kenya National Archives. It's not just an event, it's sales generation with a remarkable return on investment. Get ready to let your booth do the talking as you study new market trends with lots of entertainment featuring traditional live bands, DJs and artists. For vendor registration, call 0724 715 334 or 0713 907 584 or 0723 861 173.
and welcome to Tujenge Home. Your #1 show when it comes to all things architecture, real estate, property development, interior design. You get it right here on Tujenge Home. When the food is ready.
You want to serve them?
Dinner is served. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
The story we're telling today is a story of passion in practice that grows into business.
We have partnered with the Youth Fund, talk to as many youth as possible and work with them, hold their hand.
It is an expose of captains who have decided to take on challenges in different sectors and industries within the country.
My mentors had also not started as CEOs. They grew up and they showed me how they grew in the organizations. So that's what motivated me to actually do international business. And it was a good experience.
As an individual, support in bridging that care gap, part of me also to offer a solution. I want to leave this world a better place than I found it.
This is the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today. Or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
Karibu mtazamaji kwenye kipindi cha jamii na itikadi.
Kaini kitako tuna mengi.
Mapenzi yanapoanza watu huitana bebi na majina mengine matamu, lakini baadaye penzi linapogeuka na kuwa shubiri,
mtu anafikia kwenda kumtafuta mke mwingine.
Itakuwaje?
Yule wa kwake nyumbani labda hajamridhisha.
Ni sawa ama vipi Maliki?
Dadangu, wanaume ni kama maembe.
Huyu ni mwanamume atakuja abadiliki.
Mwanaume mwenye wanawake wengi hata katika uchumba, kwenye ndoa ataendelea. Mtu na tabia yake hawachi. Ile umbo la kike likishaanza kila kitu kishaanza kuwa mahali pake.
Ningependa kukuona.
Sijaenda mahali ambapo mimi nilisikia mtu ati huyu alikuwa shujaa, alikufa katika mstari wa mbele wa ndoa. Sijawahi sikia mimi.
Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali na manjoro. Kumbuka hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookuptv. Every Sunday unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present to you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight, only on Lookuptv.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
Beautiful, wonderful, glorious. We are having the show that we share entitled Shepherd Voice.
I'm waiting for you to get me to Kenya. That's what I'm waiting
for you.
God is the source of every blessings that flow into your life.
And I know that God is going to bless you and to do a new thing.
Pray. Pray.
This is the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Welcome to yet another edition of the Morning Drift. You can join us online and Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. I'm not going to be here for the entire part of this discussion. No, I'm going to be at the center because today, on the 14th of November, we are very much close to the end of a year. Now, this comes at a time when indeed the government is really trying to gallop a couple of issues before the end of the year. The president gave you his scorecard. According to the president, it's not been easy if you did listen to his State of the Nation address, but it is making steps. That was the summary of what he told you from the parliament buildings last week. Now for us today then, we're going to go back and see exactly what he said, how he said it, and whether indeed you and I feel that the government is headed to the right direction. Now remember, this debate comes to you at a very good date, which is 14th. That is when APRA essentially comes in and tells you how much you are going to buy your fuel for the next 1 month. Now, if you've been listening from majority of government officials, save for Moses Kuria, who we do not understand, I will be telling you why we do not understand when he makes a communique as a government official. They've all said that their hands are tied. Quote unquote. The CS, Treasury and National Planning, did say that he read somewhere in an article that if the Israel-Hamas wars continues, then fuel will be at 300 shillings. People ask the question, you're in charge of planning and treasury. Why can't you be certain? A couple of days after that, the president did come in and say, well, on the cost of fuel, which essentially translates the cost of living, his hands are tied. So no solution. For those people who know what that means, it means kinda. Google that. You'll be told exactly what it is. So at this particular time then, I'm going to move away from here so that we start the conversation this morning. I do have guys who are never going to introduce themselves. I already see Kamau in the studio, Jose is in the studio. So, Wenyeji, I'll just introduce. We're essentially just going to start the conversation by me allowing the gentlemen on my right to introduce themselves, and then later on, I'm going to cross over to my left. Kindly, quickly, introduction, then after that, we'll be fine.
I'm Stephen Karanja. Here to represent the interest of Wajiko.
That's it, Stephen Karanja. All right, crossover, introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Fianki Kelly Wong, a student at the Technical University of Kenya, and also the vice chairperson of Homa Bay University Students Association,
That's it.
also known as HUSA, and also the Secretary General of HOKUSA, which is the Homa Bay Constituency Student Association. Thank you.
That's it, Kelly. Ooh, a lot of titles, man. All right, karibu sana. Kindly introduce. Umepotea sana. That's why you have to reintroduce yourself. Umepatikana. That's it, karibu sana.
Yes, so my name is Dennis Kariuki.
That's it.
I am the former president of Nazarene University. I'm also a youth advocate and ambassador of Progress.
That's it. Pretty much pass over the mic to ule beshtetu amepotea pia sana, unajua. That's it, karibu sana.
A student leader, doubling as a youth leader from Mount Kenya University, and I also chair at a constituency level the Second University Association.
That's it. Karibu sana, Chengo Cheng. So this side, only one gentleman is going to introduce himself, and then after that, we're essentially going to get into the debate. Kindly, sir, introduce yourself.
My name is Jimmy Geko, Mount Kenya Youth Chairman.
That's it.
Chairman of more than 350 groups.
That's it.
And I'm an advocate of youth governance. I also hold a contract with government. I play part in this.
That's it.
So we are all.
He's seated at the right place.
Yes.
And I know he's like, gonna sit next to Jimmy. and Kamau. Guess what? Those two gentlemen, you've been seeing them over and over again. Once the time comes to speak, I'm essentially just gonna introduce them and then we jump into the conversation. Here's the thing. I'm gonna start with your Chengo Cheng. Let's jump in like this. The president gave you his scorecard. According to him, things are working. The ones that have not worked, they're going to continue working. This year, specifically, because we just have a couple of weeks then to say, let's go rest and come back next year and work further. Do you think it's worked for you? Let's open it like that. Do you feel that the government is heading in some direction in as much as your personal affairs are concerned?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Senator. Okay, I'm glad to see for some of my friends here and think they haven't starved for like the government is starving us.
Yeah. Comrades Mekula,
they are good.
That's it.
But I think the president, we can say is maybe dishonest to people of Kenya. I think this is actually the time we are really starving. We have got like the high cost of living and the economy also is at its worst. I think what the president could have actually done, we had wished that he could come and at least give us hope of what he's planning and what's the good thing that's coming in the near future.
Yes.
You know, at the time of campaigns, he actually promised the so-called hustlers heaven, but they are still on that. At least for now, I think we could be seeing the clouds, even if, like, he promised us, like, we'll be in heaven for after like 2 years.
Okay.
Now, I think those hustlers are actually yearning to see the cloud. Maybe if still they can't see the heaven.
That's it. That's it. Guess what? Ocheng Ocheng, thank you very much for introducing that conversation. Guess what? It's saying that the government has not starved them. They're still eating. We'll be coming to you as well, so that we see exactly how that is going to go. Just because of this, let me cross over to William this morning. Yes. Yes. Is William's mic working? Because I want him to speak, and then after that we come back from this break, isn't it? Thank you very much. Good. Okay, William. Let's start like this then.
Yeah.
Put it into proper perspective. I've not spoken to you after the after that debate, after that presidential address.
Yeah.
And I asked you, when we're having that conversation, I wish Joseph was here.
Yeah.
And I asked you during that conversation. I mean, at a time when every other person is feeling disgruntled, things are not essentially working on the cost of living.
Yes.
The things that the president was supposed to say during that address, did he say them?
Yes.
Because I would tell you, when we walked around as Lookuptv and said, well, can we do a recap of how people are feeling across the country after that presidential address? They said nothing, nada. For lack of a better word, zero.
Yes.
Did he fail? Did he deliver on the address?
Yes. Simba, I will start by saying that we are disappointed by our own expectations. And these expectations are from the promises that the president made when he was campaigning. And until now, he has not addressed them as far as policy making is concerned, or to show any goodwill. I am sorry. I am a supporter of this government, but if I really want to support this regime, the best thing to do is to speak the truth to the powers that may be.
At what point?
Yes.
Do you make it clear, William?
Yes.
I'm just eating into your statement. Yes. At what point do you make it clear and say, as a supporter, I am disappointed, instead of making complex and saying, I'm disappointed out of my expectations?
Because our government is losing popularity every passing day. And I told you here last week, it's so unfortunate that in President William Ruto's first year, the people are thinking of a replacement in 2027. You know, that is the sad bit about it. That tells you that people are extremely disappointed.
Yes.
I told you on last week that the president had the answers for this country when he was campaigning. So the question is, why is he not implementing the things he had said? I also mentioned that he said when he was campaigning, and he blamed his predecessor, that the increment on the price of the living cost is not to be blamed on Russia and Ukraine war. He said those are hogwash stories, and he said that is not actually the reason. And he said, if anything that is the case, our major problem in this country is the taxes that are on fuel. And so he said that he was going to address the tax of many, or the price of many taxes and levies on the fuel. So when he took over, the first thing he did is this act. Now it's a financial act. You remember there was a lot of debate about it, about the increment of the taxes that Uhuru had taken away.
Yes.
And so fuel is today expensive because of his policies. And you know, fuel is the wheel and the engine upon which this country runs. And I also told you, and I will repeat this, that fuel, I was with my friend on Sunday. He sells petrol. He confirmed what we were saying, that fuel consumption has drastically taken a nosedive in this country, meaning that the government is even losing revenue. And when government loses revenue, automatically what happens is what we saw last week. Instead of now, it starts overcharging services and services that we essentially pay for in terms of taxes. Why do people pay taxes? It's so that they can get services from the government. So now when you start overcharging these services, like if you lose an ID, you know all the things that were added last week. Because now government is looking for other revenues of collecting, is looking for other revenues for collecting revenue, so that it can subsidize what has been lost. And so the president needs to act and act quick as far as easing the life of Kenyans is concerned. At this point, you can hear the young gentleman. You see, he's young. I don't think even he's married. He's talking of hunger pangs. He's talking of hunger pangs when he's single. You can imagine these three guys are married. And with children in school. You can imagine the kind of pressure right now these guys are going through. And so, if we want to help the president today, is to actually speak the truth to him and tell him things are not good. And again, if you look at the structures of our power politically,
the buck starts and stops with the president. But in real sense, if you look at the structure of the powers, we need to ask our MPs, what are they doing? Because they hold the paramount power at the parliament. What are they doing about the cost of living? You know, it's so unfortunate, and I will repeat again, that these MPs go to the president and tell him, hey, Mr. President, things are very thick down there. We need you to do something. And I asked you here last week, what were the MPs, what miracles were they expecting when they passed the financial bill with all these increment of taxes? So we need to now drifting the pressure from the president. We stop thinking from the old constitution mindset and now start asking these MPs, because they hold the power of parliament, which is legislation, which is representation. We can ask the members of parliament, what are you doing about the cost of living? What policies are you passing in parliament? You guys, you know, you can even recall these financial acts. What are you doing about it? So that now we stop thinking that the president can do everything in this country and now ask questions to the relevant people, because the president is he's way up there. You have a member of parliament who you can talk to and ask him, what are you doing about my cost of living?
Yes, pretty much. Guess what, Jimmy? I'll be coming back to you. And just say, I'm deliberately not picking you this morning to be among the first speakers, because I first want Jimmy to speak and then after William to speak. And I'm reminding you exactly what you said last year when we were here in August last year. I'll remind you. I'm fighting with you this morning. Here's the thing. I don't know whether my producer can confirm whether the mic is now picking, or we take a tiny breather. Once we come back, then we'll be looking into these other issues, because I want this gentleman to speak. Stephen is next online. It's essentially just going to introduce us to the next conversation on if indeed the promise was that Mama Mboga, Wanjiku, all right, the hustler will start feeling those changes as of now. Are they feeling them? Once we come back right here on The Morning Drift, my name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiadi.
Today we are hosting the Loto Foundation as they do a food distribution to the community. The community involves people from Huruma. Huruma is where we have the home for the aged. So quite a population from the home are getting the gift packs. Most of our children come from Githogoro and Huruma. These are informal settlements. Honestly, these parents have not been working. The number of children that will come to me, even the ones who are not in school, and tell me, Mwalimu, we have not fed for 3-4 days, is quite huge. So this will go a long way. A family that has not fed for 3 days, they will at least get a meal. We also thank Loto. This is the second time that you're coming, and it always makes a difference. It always makes a difference.
Thank you for your help. Together, we are changing lives.
Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali na manjoro. Kumbuka, hapa ndipo unajifunza mambo mengi kuhusu ukulima. Kilimo ni uti wa mgongo wa nchi, na ukiwa na njoro unajifunza. Kumbuka, angalia mwenyewe. Tunakuambia, ukitaka kujua tips za ukulima, ungana na sisi kwenye Lookuptv. Every Sunday unatukuta pale saa 10, tunakuonesha kuhusu ukulima. Ukulima wa mimea, ukulima wa ng'ombe, ukulima wa kuku, ukulima wa mbuzi, na yote ambayo yanahusiana na ukulima. Kumbuka nini? Kipindi ni ukulima ni mali.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lelima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present you factual and accurate occurrences. This This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight, only on Lookuptv.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today. Or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
Karibu mtazamaji kwenye kipindi cha jamii na itikadi.
Kaini kitako tuna mengi.
Mapenzi yanapoanza watu huitana bebi na majina mengine matamu, lakini baadaye penzi linapogeuka na kuwa shubiri,
mtu anafikia kwenda kumtafuta mke mwingine.
Itakuwaje?
Yule wa kwake nyumbani labda hajamridhisha.
Ni sawa ama vipi Malkia?
Dadangu, wanaume ni kama maembe.
Huyu ni mwanamume atakuja abadiliki.
Mwanaume mwenye wanawake wengi hata katika uchumba, kwenye ndoa ataendelea. Mtu na tabia yake hawachi. Ile umbo la kike likishaanza, kila kitu kishaanza kuwa mahali pake.
Ningependa kukuona.
Sijaenda mahali ambapo mimi nilisikia mtu ati huyu alikuwa shujaa, alikufa katika mstari wa mbele wa ndoa. Sijawahi sikia mimi.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present to you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight, only on Lookuptv.
Hi, and welcome to Tujenge Home. Your #1 show when it comes to all things architecture, real estate, property development, interior design. You get it right here on Tujenge Home. When the food is ready.
You want to serve them?
Dinner is served. Let's go. Let's go.
Introducing the Kenya Trade Fair Fusion Sales Drive event in the heart of Nairobi at the Kenya National Archives. It's not just an event, it's sales generation with a remarkable return on investment. Get ready to let your booth do the talking as you study new market trends with lots of entertainment featuring traditional live bands, DJs and artists. For vendor registration, call 0724 715 334 or 0713 907 584 or 0723 861 173.
Welcome to Zahara Gardens, located in the serene Rosegate Nashu area of Dagoretti Motarakwa Road at Shell Lusingeti. Zahara Gardens is a haven of tranquility, margin affordability and wholesome family living. What's more, It is conveniently located just 300 meters off the proposed Rosegate-Nashu-Suswa Link Road, currently being tarmacked. You simply cannot afford to miss this deal of a lifetime. To book a plot, call 0723 979797 or visit us on 4th Avenue Towers along 4th Ngong Avenue off Bishop Road. Zahara Gardens is a product of Fusion Estates. Fusion Estates, your land ownership partner.
Beautiful, wonderful, glorious. We are having the show that we share entitled Shepherd Voice.
I'm waiting for you to get me to Kenya. That's what I'm waiting
for you.
God is the source of every blessings that flow into your life.
And I know that God is going to bless you and to do a new thing.
Pray, 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 pray.
Are you a junior secondary school, a college, a TVET institution or a university and you want to advertise your intake? Book now and advertise with us today on both Lookuptv and all our digital platforms. Call us today or email us on sales@lookuptv.co.ke.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present to you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight, only on Lookuptv.
Yes, what? We are on with this debate. The outlook of President Dr. William Ruto's government. Today is a day again you're going to know how the cost of living is going to get adjusted as you come to the end of this year. Today being almost half November. Good. I just want to cross over. Jimmy, you're next. I just want to cross over to Stephen. Stephen, could you do a proper analysis? You said that you're representing Wanjiko, Mama Mboga, the hustler, who was essentially envisioned to be a key player in this government. Do you feel that they are still a key player in the decisions, in the way that this government is getting run?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the moment this government took power,
yes,
the one thing that they changed from Mama Boga to Mama Bogwa, because that is one thing that the president never fulfilled to what he promised to Mama Boga.
That's it.
Because he said, the moment I took the oath of office, I'll take care of Mama Boga from Mashinani. Today, things are different. It has taken other than working to move the country forward.
That's it.
He's working to where we came from 1963. But it is very sad state of the nation. As we are here today, that Mama Boga from Remuru, from Nyandarua, all over, he's crying. He's crying, yet the government that is in power,
yes,
they wake up early in the morning to vote the government, to support the government to some extent. Actually, they had that narrative that they want to chase away the dynasty, to bring up a government that is a government of the people.
Yes.
Today, it is a different story.
It's a different story altogether.
I think
yes,
the president need to be told, as my friend there, they are saying, he need to be told the truth. Things down there, mambo is different.
That's it. Pretty much. Stephen, I'll be coming back to you. Jimmy, take over then. Here's a question that I want to ask you, though.
Yes,
just
please.
a couple of sentiments I've been looking at from the president.
Yes.
And I wish you were here. Just before that presidential address, William was right here in the show.
Yes.
Then I asked him that nowadays, every other time the president stands up to speak, there are a lot of murmurs within crowds from within his government, where even members of parliament are telling him, yeah, maybe introduce subsidies. Kwa grau vitu ni baya. All right? But every other time he talks to citizens, they're either looking at him or telling him exactly what he needs to do. It is November the 14th today. Do you feel that that promise for a government that is essentially looking at the middle class, now wale watu wa chini, just like people say,
yes,
is what is delivered almost 2 years in office?
First, I'm a staunch supporter of government.
It's good to declare, by the way. Just
Yes.
say you start by declaring as
Yes.
well.
I declare mine, 150%, 200%, because I was part and parcel of creating this government. Because of being disgruntled by probably what happened in the previous government. But I want to also go on record. The president, I believe in William.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in His Excellency William. I know he has a plan. My main problem, and the biggest problem we have as a country,
yes,
is we are out of the elections. The leaders need to get over the power blues. Our biggest problem in this country, why we are not getting solutions, why Wanjiku has started complaining, is because Wanjiku has started asking the president, can you give me this? Why did we get it? Why did we get representatives? Why do we have cabinet secretaries? Why do we have a deputy president? As much as we would want to put out the backstops at the president, in terms economic, terms politics, terms security, terms everything. But if you look at other countries with the deputies, cabinets, they are solution-based cabinets. I need to ask my president, His Excellency William Ruto, can you stop babysitting these people? It is time you give them jobs. They are not delivering. Tell them to pack and go home, because Kenyans will not wait for somebody to mature into their seat. You're a cabinet secretary. That is why when you go for a job interview, even on job landing, it does not take you 10 years.
Yes.
It does not take you 2 years. It is either you know what you're doing or you don't know what you're doing. Can we forget about political expediency? Can we forget about political favors? In other countries, our deputy president, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, is supposed to have an economic team. As much as he's supposed to be the buffer of the president. What are they doing? We are seeing 40 members of parliament go for a Sunday evening, for a Sunday service with the deputy president. 50 members of parliament go for a meeting in some place with the president. What are they telling us? You want to drive from Isiolo, Meru, all parts of the country, come for a church service. For instance, the deputy president was in Kiamba the other day.
Yes.
There were 42 MPs. To do what? Were they coming there as, do we have sightseeing in Kiamba? No. Wanjiku is asking, you guys, we've given you. We have a parliament. Who is the legislative arm of this country? You're supposed to offer the solutions. We cannot all sit here and say, President, we will die. Because our biggest problem is our own representatives.
Does it?
And as long as our own representatives are not even understanding what is supposed to be happening, they forgot this government was entrenched or was brought about by the collective responsibility of the people on the ground. When they got, I said, we did an interview about Mount Kenya Youth, and we said the deputy president was giving jobs some to a certain County Nyeri. And I'm glad at some point, by miracle, for whatever share, he's changed. I am seeing he has changed his scope. But by the time he came back to Nairobi, Karen is where this government was born. And Karen was a consultative hub. By the time he came back to Karen to sort out a Kiambu issue, our hawkers in Nairobi had already taken a brand. Our other traders in Burma had already done a strike. That is why we were asking. If you cannot go back to the same people and tell them, now guys, it is not a sign of defeat. They made this government. So come back to us. Let's go, we'll tell you, no, here the youth would need ABCD. Here, Mama Mboka, we are thinking if we go this way. But now, when they sit there, forgetting their employers, forgetting they probably know nothing. Most of those guys actually got into power because of money. I'm very sorry, but most of them, there are politicians who are working, there is the business class, there is cabinet secretaries who are working.
Yes.
But 90% of, I will put 90%.
Yes.
Greenhorns. Matters, Wanjiko, Matters, most of them rode on a wave.
Does it?
The wave might cost us so much, it is hurting the country, but the buck should not stop. We should ask our legislators. We saw you in Nyandaro. My friend, you went to Nyandaro to do what? Had you gone sightseeing? My people do not have water in Kiambu. My people do not have water in Thika.
Yes.
Probably, you see. So we need also, as a country, to grow out of the mentality that, yes, this is government A, government B.
Mm-hmm.
We were done with Uhuru, whatever was said in the political field was said.
Yes.
And politics is what I call talk is cheap.
Yes.
As much as it has happened since Kibaki's era, he did not, and he was, I think, the biggest strategist in this country. The person who we all saw the fruits being in this age lineage. Kibaki did not fulfill everything. But at some point, he mitigated to a point where even his critics say, hey, na mzee alijaribu hata kama ni barabara. Bank zilikuwa zinatupatia loan bure. These people need to get off the president's shoulder. Get off our president. Get off that leader.
Yes.
And the deputy president. Hold firm the country. Be part of the solution. Have your own team. You see, if I saw it today in Karen, David Ndii and the rest were, all of them, that is how they were able to map out a way to even get this government. Mm-hmm. At the point where this government was collected, it was I'm sorry, it was on a deathbed. But Akinya David Ndii were created in Karen.
Yes, yes.
So they were buffers, regardless of whether Uhuru and His Excellency Uhuru
Yes.
and His Excellency
Yes.
Ruto were not at par. There was a sense of there was somebody who knew something would happen, or they had an idea of how. Now we have David Ndii in State House, and I also saw they took back Aidan. There was a gentleman called Aidan. He was a CS for trade, and a few technocrats. But what is my deputy president doing? He's also supposed to have his own panel as a buffer. You see, like Baba, respect that man.
Yes.
As much as we don't like him so much in my area, that man comes up, he'll tell you, you guys, there's this problem about fuel, but I have also heard there is a way we can get this fuel through.
That's it.
But now we have guys who are telling, who will go, a whole parliamentary group. Nobody went there to offer solutions. Your Excellency, shida iko, Wanjiko analeta shida. How have you mitigated yourself? Why are you working?
Yes.
Should we brandish all of them? Should we just do away with all of them? Because the cabinet, our main problem is the cabinet.
Yes.
As lean as it is supposed to be solution-based.
Pretty much. Yes. Jimmy, I'll be coming back to you. Hand over the mic to Jose. Jose, I'll be coming back to you as well. Hand over the mic to Kelly. Kelly, here's the thing. You lead young people. I mean, you talk to them on a daily basis. See how Ucheng started. Like, I'm happy you guys are not starving because huku chini vitu ni mbaya. When you look at what the president was promising, and I will tell you what, employment hubs across the country, that was a big promise that he came in with. Do you think that it's taking shape across the country? Do you feel that when you interrogate, right, your fellow students, that they're telling you huku kuna vile kunaenda vizuri? And what do you think the president is doing now, or this government is doing, that is essentially hurting your group that you're leading? Yes.
Thank you. First of all, when the president was doing his campaign, he had a plan and the plan was to get the country out of the hardship that it is going through. And you find that the plan that he had, in fact, the narrative that he was using the hustler nation, and that is how he deceived the hustler people until he got power. And after getting the power, he forgot the people who elected him, and you find that the people are now suffering. And you were talking of I'll be talking of the comrades. We find that the government, if I may start with the State of the Nation address, we were expecting him to talk of the high cost of living, because you find the way my friend Ochim was saying, comrades are really suffering out here. There is no way we can say that we are eating, but what are we eating? There is no food to be eaten. Actually, you find that we are starving, and you can even sleep a day without a meal. Some people go.
Yes, that's mocha. That's mocha, according to Jimmy.
Actually, even that's
mocha. Yeah,
yes.
Plus mocha.
Yes. For you to get that mocha, you have been hustling from friends so that they can maybe provide that maybe 60 bob or 55 for you to buy that smocha.
Yes.
And you'll find that we don't have a future anymore. We are living for the moment, and we can't predict what the future is holding for us, because we don't know where we are going to get the money in the next minute. So again, you'll find that these help under the Higher Education Fund.
I actually wanted to speak on that.
Yes.
As a SG. Okay, let's hear you say that.
First of all, comrades have not received the freshers, as the ministry had said, and through the newsletter to the newsrooms.
Yes.
The freshers were to get their funding, but some had gotten, but some didn't get. And you find that the schools also, these universities and even the secondary schools, they don't have the capitation that the government is supposed to give them. You find that teachers are striking right, left, because the lecturers, because they have not been paid their salaries, and even the workers in the universities are there, they have not been paid. And you find they have children in these and families that they need to take care of. And you find that the government, actually, what the government is doing, it is giving it's feeding us through the salaries, but taking it back with the big spoon. You find that we concerning the ID, the 1,000 for the ID, and the 2,000 for the renewal. Comrades are really crying out here. Where are they going? Even the Form 4s who are going to finish their schools in the next coming week, they don't know, because we have these hustlers people who they don't know where they're going to get those certificates. And I was talking to some, and they were telling me that they're just waiting for the general election, where the politicians will be coming and telling them that the IDs will be free, because they will be there so that they'll be wanting votes, and they want
so they can get free IDs, isn't it?
That is what they were saying. And those who are to renew the IDs with the 2,000, they've said that we are not going to renew. We are just going to have the police abstract and use it in the near future until we get that money.
Yeah, they will start charging them. Jimmy saying good. Jimmy, clear your point.
Yeah.
Clear your point. 1 minute, Kelly. Yes.
So the thing is that we really need to, the government really needs to have a proper plan, because the current wananchis are really suffering. And the discussion should be not relying on either we are from Kenya Kwanza or from the Azimio, because everyone is suffering. There is nowhere you're going to there's no place where you're going to get a service and you're told that these people from the government are going to get a service at 500 and the Azimio people are going to get service at 1,000. There's no way. And what I'm trying to do, to say, and we should try as much as possible to get how we can get self-employment. Because there is no job that the government is going to give us as its citizens.
Yes.
So,
Kelly, I want you to hold that because that was my next part of the conversation. Pass over the mic to Karaoke. Oh, he has a mic. He has a mic. Good, we're good. Now, Jose, there are people who have a huge problem with you. And I'm going to point them out. That on the issue for taxes, remember when you were here last, I asked you, maybe we should say, yes, you can tax, but up to a certain point. Where you say, yeah, no, I can't go there. I can't go there. But you know what you say? No. Taxes are taxes, man. You can't run a country without taxes. You got to collect those taxes. And guess what, Jose? They've been coming. Now, as of next year, and it's a good thing that we're talking about this in November because now holidays are coming soon. As of next year, January 2024, VAT is going to be pegged at 18% from 16%. And by the way, that will mean that every other thing in the economy will jump by that 2%. Even on these fuel costs that we're complaining about here today, that will jump by 2%. So maybe you'll say now, you could start addressing that. That maybe have they crossed that line? And even as we start this morning, also, the Lands Ministry has also adjusted their services upwards. Now, to search digitally on the ministry, it has jumped from 500 to 2,000 shillings. And also on document processing now, some of you or some of us have to pay upwards of 50,000 for processing those documents. Is that a place where you say, as an accountant, maybe no, guys, maybe not here anymore?
Okay, good morning. I would say, Simba, that we expected the government to correct taxes. I know what you don't want to hear me saying is defending the government, but I would say this. His Excellency William Ruto had a plan, and the plan is there, and it still remains there, to remove us from where he found us, from the quagmire we were in, to a better place. But to this better place, he said he don't want to go full-time borrower. He's going to go the way of taxing us, generating revenue from the inside. But now, I'm happy because when taxes come in, people now, the most elite, the middle class and the lower class are now talking. That's when we are making the government. Do you know why? Because when we were not suffering, the middle class and the upper class were all comfortable because they knew nothing is coming to me. No. Let me finish my point first. Let me first. The comfort zone that was there, from the elite, the most rich, to the middle class, they were don't care mentality that we had in the country. Now we are going to the better and the safest place whereby the responsibility does not beg to my MCA, to my MP, or to anyone. It goes down to the resident. Because when we were in our campaign mode, and when we were in a by-election like for my friend Kamau, he's a good governance advocate, and he knows what to say and what time. But we as Kiamba resident, we saw that he wasn't deemed necessary to be our MP. You see, but now, the moment that we come to the realization of what is happening, who we need, how we need, and what we need actualized, is when we are coming into our senses. And when, for example, if
come on,
he would
I hope you're listening.
Yes.
Yeah, after this anunue chai.
If he would come.
Yeye alikuwa shida.
If yes.
The problem.
So
yeah, it was the problem.
Yes. So when he comes, if, like for example today, by any means, that we have a by-election in Kiamba, I swear, he would be our MP next because of what people have learned. Because we need people to actualize and articulate our issues at the necessary place, that is the parliament.
Yes.
The people that we need. I'm not saying that the current MP in Kiambaa is a useless guy. No.
Yes.
I'm saying what he need to do.
Someone would like you to say that.
He's saying it in a better way. He's not useless. He may not use the word useless, but he can use a better term.
Yes. We can do better because I'm a resident of Kiambaa. Like for example, currently I'm a candidate to the upcoming elections in December 9th, the UDA elections. I'm a candidate in Kiambaa. I want to vie as a chairman of the constituency for the party, so that I can speak direct to my MP as a chairman of the party of Mama Mboga and Boda riders and all the residents, telling him what he need to hear. Because if I say now, he'll say I got a beef, or maybe I'm positioning myself to be the next MP in Kiambaa.
Yes.
But for me, if I were to get a chance to be the MP of the Kiambaa, I would delegate myself to leave it to William. Because I know what he can do and I know what he can't do. So for us, the taxes, and I say the taxes, let us go, even if we go for the fuel for 500 shillings, it will waken our demons, and what we are supposed to say and what we are supposed to do.
How many people are going to wait for you out of that studio?
It's okay. It's okay. Let them fight, but get the sense out of it. Because the 18% that is coming up in January, it looks unfair and totally very unfair. Because as well, I may be suffering or I may be not be suffering, but in future I'm being prepared to suffer. You get it? I'm being prepared to suffer. But because
he's been
of all that,
for the
for slaughter,
for
the slaughter, I don't want to blame the president. I want to blame people independently. One, the cabinet secretary, as my friend Jimmy has said, they are not working.
How is it that you can't blame the president? All these promises that the president was making, what were they coming from?
No, the plan was to get a cabinet secretary to help him ease the problem and actualize on the plan.
And by the way, Fanya Mambo, if you're watching this morning, I think you would have a big problem with Joseph and Jimmy this morning. Because this Fanya Mambo says this, is a good friend of ours who comes into the studio every day, says that, look here, every other person who stops in front of people and says, you can't blame the president, that person is wrong. Because who is the appointing authority, Jimmy, here? Jose, is it not the president?
That's why we are saying, so if the cabinet secretary are not working, they should be fired.
Today, my producer, if indeed this show keeps on failing every morning and we can't do anything, who is to blame? Who puts me here every day? Is that producer Mary? Good morning, and you're listening to us this morning. If you keep on leaving me here on a daily basis, things are not working. Every day I'm coming here,
you be held responsible.
And then Jimmy and Joseph are saying, no, it's Simba, it's her, it's Mary.
No, wait. You know why I tried to dissuade a lot of blame from the boss, from HE. It's because once Mary gave you the job,
that's it.
She had the impetus, she had the knowledge that you're worthy, and it was in point. At some point, she believed in you.
That's it, Jimmy.
The first 3 weeks, first 5 weeks,
that's it.
Probably you weren't the best. But 3 months down the line, your quality, she can actually sell you
wrong
for
analogy.
a fee.
Wrong analogy.
No,
Jimmy, wrong analogy.
I'm putting it.
Wrong analogy. Jimmy, wrong analogy. I was given the job. This job is demanding. We need the best fit for this job. I gotta deliver. Tomorrow we're going on the air. One week down the line. Hold on, Jimmy. Hold on, Jimmy. You're the one who said this is not a learning platform.
Yes.
You can't give me a job to learn. You give me the job to do.
But there are things, I will tell you. Right now, I would rather see you in Citizen. Okay, let me not.
You can say that.
Yes.
I mean, all of us in the media
space. In a bigger media space, because I'm seeing quality. Actually, when you're interviewing us, we've gone through a lot. But why I'm dissuading the blame is because when His Excellency was giving those posts, regardless of whether it was His Excellency William or His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, whoever would have constituted government, you had a lot of backwash because of the political field wine. Now the political field, he had a lot of people to put here and all that stuff. Now we are done. It is 1 year after elections. We have, I think, 60 PSs, 22 cabinet secretaries. My friend, with 80 people running government, telling me to go tell the president, you guys, you've messed. I'm still not understanding, because I think I should be telling the president, these guys you brought here are messing you because they're not offering solutions.
Jimmy, take a minute, but I want to cross over to Dennis as well. Take a minute. Yes. I mean, Jimmy, are you aware that the president did come and complain that he doesn't understand the people he gave the job, why some of them have got completely no idea what their ministry is about? So Jimmy, hold on, Jimmy. Here's the question then. Here's the question. You give me a job, all right, to cook for you, Gali. Yes. Every other morning I'm cooking for you, Uji. What is the best thing for you to do?
Do you know why? Do you know why we have a second-term blues in this country?
Yes.
Because in the second term, the president doesn't know anybody favors.
Does that?
That is why most of our second terms either work
or collapse.
Collapse the country. When His Excellency Moi Kibaki was in second term and with Baba and all that shenanigans, I think government worked more. When Baba came with Uhuru slept. Baba and his people had a field day. So this country went down there. Let's not go into that shenanigans of politics. But His Excellency, if he understands that, it is past 1 year. It is past 1 year after any promise. Because the honeymoon, and that's why I said, the power blues should be, the cabinet secretaries who are even uttering some utterances, and you're like, oh my God, you're supposed to be giving these people hope. So there are people who are already, I think, full with power. The stomachs are full. So relieve them of the duties. It is not. There is nowhere in this country where it has been told that today, if Cabinet Minister A dies, government stops. If
Jimmy,
ABCD dies,
Jimmy, I'm coming to you. Okay, as you give the mic to our latecomer, you're going to fully introduce yourself, but we're giving you that pain because you came in late. Okay, give him the mic. Yes. 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm coming to you. Let me cross over to Dennis this morning. Dennis, how are you doing, sir? I spoke to, and I remember every other time that Joseph, by the way, Joseph, very controversial. See what he's saying? Invited me to suffer, so I'm ready to suffer. When you look at where we've got it wrong, and I ask you this question, because where the president has ever gone to nowadays, when he speaks, it's either it doesn't have the same animation that he used to get when he used to speak to his crowds during the campaigns. All of a sudden now, that is either disquiet or blatant complaints to the president. Why has he gotten it wrong?
I think there is a problem here. Number one, we have to realize that the president is not in the year 2023. We are already in 2030. Yes, he has a plan. He's thinking about how our future of our generation is going to be. But we are already putting a lot of resources about the future, but not today. That is where the problem starts.
Yes.
From the State of the Nation address, he was talking as if everything is okay. It was a lamination, like things are working. But he was saying as well that we have to tighten our belts. We have to make sure that maybe in our state, things may not be working well because of the wars between Russia and Ukraine, and again in Haiti, and all that. But we have to realize one thing, that things are not working. And number one, I can talk about the cost of fuel. If the cost of fuel rises, everything else is going to rise. That is number one. Number two, labor. Let's talk about employment. Personally, I am a recent graduate, and I can give an experience. Yes. After graduation, I spent like around 3 months, 4 months, I'm still sending applications.
Jimmy, God bless you. Yes.
I'm still sending applications. Yes. How many youths do we have out there with no jobs? How many?
Yeah.
Yes. That is what we should be asking ourselves. What is the government doing to help the youth who are jobless? We have to realize that when you are speaking to the nation, you are speaking to 60% who are the youth.
That is. By the way, I gotta remind Joseph something. Just hold on your points. You're gonna continue. I gotta remind you something. Somebody asked me to ask you, gentlemen, what is going on with the youth employment in this country? The president has made over 4 statements about when he killed the Kazi kwa Vijana. He said, now all these youth are going to go into affordable housing. When he got another opportunity to speak, he said, now all these youth are going to get into tree planting. He's kept on making statements about where majority of the youth in this country were going to head. Where are they? Where is this direct involvement of youth in this country who can get the food, like in the previous governments where Kazi kwa Vijana, is as much as he was blamed for not being efficient because of corruption, he would offer a relief point for majority of the youth. Coming to you, Jose, on that. Then it's clear.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was saying,
yes,
the youth in this nation, are they really involved? Do they have a future? Do we have hope that it is getting better?
Yes.
Because it is not working, actually. Yes. Like any youth, actually, right now, what we find ourselves doing is complaining, making jokes on social media, but we are expressing our feelings that we don't have anything in the pocket, yes, that it is not working.
Yes.
Our applications, like, for example, sometimes the Public Service Commission advertises jobs on their website. Other times you can hear KRAs and employing people. So we are calling youths, apply. But how many? If you could ask yourself, yes, do you have a friend who got that application? No. Then who got them? These are the questions that we are asking ourselves. Our country is not working. Actually, our president is like the captain to Titanic. Titanic is collapsing, and you are telling people it is okay. You see?
Yeah.
The economy is collapsing. So,
analogy,
let me say this. It all starts with the economy.
That's it.
The government cannot function without borrowing loans. Is that right? But now, it involves how you spend that loan. Is our government spending in the right way? You are telling us to tighten our belts. Is that true? But are you guys tightening your belts? You are telling us it is going to be tough ahead. But for you, we are seeing you with a whole delegation going to every county, saying that you are working so hard to do this. But you can remember, fueling a vehicle like a V8 or maybe a Land Cruiser, a full tank, how much is that? That is one vehicle. And that is carrying one senator. How many senators do we have in this country? How many members of parliament do we have? Now do the math. How many tanks do we have to fill using the public funds so that we can find ourselves that it is working? You're talking about the future.
Yes.
But our future, we cannot even see it.
Yes.
We are wearing goggles at one in bed.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
Coming back to you. William, just to crossover.
Yes.
You wanted to make a point. I will give you 1 minute.
Yes.
Make that point so that I can cross over to him as well.
Yes. Simba.
Yes.
We must always use the previous governments as point of reference to any sitting government.
Yes.
If you look, I believe the economy is changed by policies. If you cannot make policies to improve the economy, then every other person in the government is doing nothing. Who are the policymakers in this country? The president does not have to be a good policymaker, by the way. Yes. He just needs to be a good politician who can be elected to power and elect and appoint good policymakers. We have the cabinet secretaries. These are policymakers, 100%. Come to the members of parliament. They are policy makers. What are they doing? PSs, these are policy makers. What are they doing? As much as we want to put a blame on the president, we can only blame him for appointing lazy people who do not want to burn the midnight oil, thinking about this country. If you think about employment, no any other president has created a conducive environment to create jobs for this country than Kibaki.
Yes.
Because the policies, that guy has spoken about loans. If you look at what Kibaki did with loans, if you look at how much he borrowed Simba, that money when it came into circulation, it was so much with the people down there, such that every other bank in this country was pitching tent at the street to have a share of this money, because there was so much money in circulation. Come to Uhuru. Uhuru had a different approach with the taxes, story for another day. But if you look at Uhuru's last 2 years, when he was faced by the biggest pandemic the world has known in the recent history, which we call Corona, in the last 2 years of his presidency, that is when he collected the highest revenue, miraculously, when he was faced by COVID. Look at what he did. He cut down on taxes. He encouraged consumption. You know, money ups, the levies went down. He actually gave tax cuts on fuel, on everything. And then he collected the highest revenue. Guys were making money. Guys were doing jobs during that time of COVID.
Yes.
Come to William Ruto's government. What is the one policy that his government has done? This is a government I support. If you look at if you look at the finance bill, which is now the Finance Act, it is an extraction bill. It is just taking and taking and taking away from Kenyans. If we analyze what is he giving to Kenyans, what is he doing to encourage production? What are these policy makers doing? Allow me to say this as I conclude. We need to strike the balance as the people down there. We need to know when to celebrate, when these guys are fueling their guzzlers and coming to build churches with these harambes, when we clap for them and then leaving the church and complaining about lifestyle. We need to strike that balance, because these are the same guys we are saying you're doing nothing, but we celebrate them when they come to church to give us these handouts for building churches. The church need to take the first and bold step and tell guys, hey, as much as you want to build the church, these are the people who are complaining about Beyaunga. These are the people complaining. Do something about it. You can build the church and you can also take care of these guys.
Yes, here's the thing. Your punishment is that you have to do a complete introduction of yourself. Make sure you work a title up on Dani when you mwenyeji, but jumechelewa, we're not going to introduce you. And then jump in. Why has it gone wrong? And we're asking this question because members of parliament within the UDA party, which is majority party in government, are even telling the party leader, huku chini ni kubaya squeezy, maybe now we can give them something so that now we have ground to even talk about our government's policies.
Thank you very much, Simba. My name is Alfred Amolo. I'm from Randwe constituency, Homa Bay County. I would like to join my fellow youths to be in the same WhatsApp group.
Yes.
We are suffering. And today I'm very happy that some of my colleagues from Lima, Kenya have opened up their eyes and they're seeing these sufferings. Because if you look, the country which tax more of our citizens, there are those services which the government normally provide free when the taxes are high. The first one is education. If you go to those countries like I can say US, the taxes are high, and even England. But you find that education from primary up to university is free, and in like China too. Again, if you come back to health services, they are free in public hospitals. Those people doesn't pay anything. It's free because they are getting these services because they are being taxed more. If you go back to roads are well. There's no traffic jam in those countries. Everything is working. But come back to our country. High taxes, poor services. Where is the money going? To the cabinets. We have more cabinets, but they are doing nothing. Actually, they are doing nothing. Even the other day, the president complained that even if you happen to invite them to come here and explain what they are doing in their docket, they won't be in a position to explain themselves. I can say they are completely clueless. And the other day when I was here, I said that this government is full of abracadabra. They're playing they're like magicians. They will tell you that there is fire on this other side.
Yes.
Life is good, everything is fine. On this other side, there's nothing they're doing. They're just there reluctant, waiting for end month so that they can receive the 800 and something thousand monthly salaries. And what they can do best is to move around the country. Secondly, if you look, the government has really dragged the citizens. Because you find that, like, for instance, someone is working and is earning maybe 20,000 where he's working, and maybe I can say 30% of his salary is going to taxes, is remaining with only a little which he cannot even afford the 3 square meal for his family. So that means there's nowhere we are going as a country.
Yes.
And that's the truth. And I want to tell my colleagues that it is the president who is the driver of this country. It's the one who appointed these cabinets. So if he sees that there's a cabinet who is not working, he has full mandate to approve that person from that particular seat.
Without consultation.
Yes, without consultation.
And what we have in Senate, what I didn't get from Jimmy, you're going to continue, what I didn't get from Jimmy is that if we are agreeing that that's the reality on the ground, if there's a cabinet secretary who's doing nothing and you're complaining about them, and you don't remove them from your government, then we squarely have to lay the blame on you, Jimmy, whether you like it or not. I'll be coming to you. Yes, continue.
That's the truth.
You're actually next.
You see, in this government,
yes,
there are some cabinets whom even if you go to Mashinani, they are not known. The only cabinet who is popular now is only Kindiki and PS Raymond Omolo. The rest, they are not known. Even if you ask someone who's the cabinet of maybe public service. Yes, public service.
Yes.
They haven't been, I don't know.
You don't know.
But we know.
You don't know.
Because he was You see, Simba,
yes,
you know, my friends, they thought that because they voted in this government, they thought that it was going to work. And I can say it's not all the CSS who are not working.
Yes.
That some who are doing a good job. And for a good example is Kindiki. We have seen another person is, I can say, Moses Kura is trying,
yes,
only that he has a loose tongue. But what he normally says, it's true. Yes. So, but there are some who are just there waiting for their monthly salary.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to say here that my friends from the other side, they can now see the light.
Does it?
But I want to say, Jim, even on the government, the president said that there will be no kazi kwa vijana.
Yes.
But at that, the youth will go directly to the affordable housing and planting trees. Will you wake up from Monday to Saturday planting trees? No. Who will be paying you? That's the first question. Secondly,
does it?
Kazi kwa vijana, they were being paid. But Jimmy, just a minute. I can go there, work for maybe for 6 hours. Then at the end of the week, I will receive my monthly. I will receive my salary for that particular week. But Simba, if you look at this affordable housing, even if you go to your village in Kisii and ask those people, Nyindo mnafanya kazi kwa hii building, they are not the people from Kisii. Then who are doing those jobs?
Yes.
That's
the only problem, isn't it? Pretty
That's
much.
the question.
Yes.
Contractors are not bound by government.
That's it.
Just a minute. The government
yes,
killed kazi kwa vijana to create affordable housing so that you can get a job there. But if you go to the field of affordable housing, there's no youth who is working there. Even the people, the localities, yes, the constituents of that particular area are not working there. Where do these people come from?
Labor.
All right.
Importing labor.
Why import labor and
labor,
we are here?
We're
not cheap so that we can get those jobs.
Yes. Here's the reality. I'll be coming back to you. It's a good thing that you've laid ground then for this conversation. Could you pass the mic then to Jimmy? Jimmy, there's a question here. And Ocheng, please get ready. You're next on in line. There's a question here that Senator Ledama Lekina asked. That he kept on asking, he kept on telling Kenyans that you celebrate things that you're not supposed to celebrate in this country. First was the question of tree planting that happened on Monday. And this was his analysis. And he said, let's look at it. He said, so who's funding today's free tree planting exercise? Because I had to say, it is your money, our taxpayers' money. Good. Then he says, now the cost of choppers alone, and if you did see exactly how majority of cabinet secretaries were told, you have to headline the tree planting exercises in all these counties across the country. He said that even if you had to say that a cabinet secretary was supposed to visit 2 counties each yesterday, because there are 47 counties, maybe some of them went to 3, it would say that the cost of flying a chopper alone for cabinet secretaries, assuming the endurance is 3 hours, is 134,550, all right? Now multiply that by 22, all right? Which is in one flight, you're talking about 21.25 million shillings, all right? That's just one flight. Like we've landed somewhere. Good. Times 2 now. That's what he asked, all right? Goes on to say, William Ruto, just how many seedlings would have been bought and planted by CBOs if they were given the budget and CAs use their own personal vehicles to save the environment? Goes on to say, remember, the budget above is only for transport and choppers, all right? And not the cost of seedlings. Then it goes on to say, we are indeed a sick nation, that when you look at how we are running this country, upon complaining about the cost of living in this country, we're doing all the negatives. Then, which one, Jimmy? That's why I asked you.
Me,
please, I want to hear it from you. Why can't you lay blame on the president?
For me,
yes,
it was a very noble task. I actually thought about it before I came.
Yes.
It was more good because it encompassed the whole country.
Yes.
For once, as a country, after maandamano nonsense, after wars and all that nonsense, we came together yesterday just to plant a tree. There are things we do for common good. When we were doing maandamano, in a day, we were losing billions. Forget about those small mathematics he's put there. We were losing billions. But when we went to consensus, how everything has turned. For once, I saw even Mama Ida, a woman the country respects so much, plant a tree. It was very significant. It is a future. It is futuristic in terms of what was of the engagement that was there. Yeah. There was so much love and harmony in this country yesterday. Now today back to normal, back to Tinja and everything else.
Yes.
But yesterday was a bit. I have not seen anybody. Senator is a good guy, but he has too much Western. He's too Western. We don't all live in America for us to think like that. Me, I want to see those trees, my friend, so that at least I see some rain in Garissa. So when you overthink too much, do the math. Government, even him as a senator, his own parks in entertainment are way above there. I've never seen him say, no, government, I think I can do this. So I think that's a selfish post in terms of he is not benefiting as of now. If he was being part of the benefit, when they go do those trips they do for going to check about everything, whatever they do in the Senate, they still spend.
Also considering that he comes from one of the driest parts in the country,
the happiest part
the exercise.
Without looking at the analogy, that had you given this budget then to CBOs, it would have been cheaper and more efficient.
Don't be cheated. There's nothing like cheap.
Yes.
Those CBOs would have cost money either way. And the worst part about it is that the CBOs do not have the manpower that government put on the ground. Like NYS actually did 120,000 trees. That was epic. That is beautiful. For once, let's be conservationists. That's why we were saying, as my brother said about job opportunities and everything, we need something, and that is why I'm saying encompass the president and deputy president.
Yes.
We need a commission.
Yes.
A youth commission
in
this country.
That's it.
You see, like TSC.
Yes.
We need a youth commission.
Yes.
So that we lay all our pressure and stress to that commission, they will get solutions.
That's it. Jimmy, I want us to take a break there at this particular time. Ocheng, once we come back, we'll be talking to you as well. Now, these are the questions the majority of Kenyans are asking. And I want us to be quite blunt about exactly what's going on. Number one, now, there are fears that indeed because of how majority of Kenyans are talking about taxes, cost of living, that for once across the country, Jimmy, we're having a uniform conversation. Even the president admitted that, I like the fact that majority of Kenyans are not talking about the taxes, they're talking about the taxes they are paying. He said that's a good conversation. Now the question though is this: is Kenya about to see a one-term president, Jimmy? If all of us are saying, no, we can't pay this, everywhere, all the way from the southern part of this country to the northern part of this country, if we're having this similar conversation and quite candid about it,
yes.
If indeed the president over the other side is saying, my hands are tied, and Kenyans are having this conversation about the cost of living and the amount of taxes we're paying, gentlemen, are we about, for the very first time then, about to see a one-term president on the basis of cost of living? Just one. Once we come back then, Jose, you'll be like, once we come back on it, because it's interesting right there in the studio. Despite of the divide that this gentleman are coming from, they are criticizing this regime in terms of how they are running their affairs. All of them are saying, well, you gotta do this. If they do not do it, and if the president is coming in and saying, well, my hands are tied, ladies and gentlemen, then is it gonna happen? Is it going to happen? Once we come back right here on The Morning Drift and Lookuptv across all your social media platforms, I am at Kiangasimba. The hashtag is The Morning Drift.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
We are Railway Children's Home.
Kwa majina naitwa Dr. Susan Owol Jogona, ni mimi mwanzilishi wa Eroi Hope Center. Eroi Hope Center tuko na Eroi Children's Home na Eroi Outreach Mission. Siku ya leo tuko na furaha kukuwa na watu watatu hapa. Asanteni sana kwa kutucelebrate. Tumefurahia sana na tunawapenda tu sana.
Thank you for impacting our lives and changing our story.
Are you an SME looking for a media partner? Look no more, as Lookuptv got you covered for all your visibility and marketing needs. We at Lookuptv understand your business needs and want to work with you on your marketing journey, giving you solutions that will take you to the next level. Call us today on 0707 572 358 or send an email to sales@lookuptv.co.ke and kickstart this amazing journey. Welcome to Lookuptv, your official SME media partner.
As the night falls, we come to life to bring you a comprehensive broadcast from the numerous events happening across our 47 counties.
When it breaks, it matters, and each story is important.
If it's Thursday, join me, Nancy Lima, and my able panelists as we break down the law jargons and analyze the Constitution in a way only you can understand.
The news cycle never stops, neither does time. We cover each and every sector and present to you factual and accurate occurrences. This is where facts win the day. Join me,
Nancy Lima,
Ian Keitani, Tuesday, every Wednesday,
Thursday,
as from 9 p.m. on The Insight, only on Lookuptv.
The story we're telling today is a story of passion in practice that grows into business.
We have partnered with the Youth Fund, talk to as many youth as possible and work with them, hold their hand.
It is an expose of captains who have decided to take on challenges in different sectors and industries within the country.
My mentors had also not started as CEOs. They grew up and they showed me how they grew in the organizations. So that's what motivated me to actually do international business. And it was a good experience.
As an individual, support in bridging that care gap, part of me also to offer a solution. I want to leave this world a better place than I found it.
This is the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage.
Introducing the Kenya Trade Fair Fusion Sales Drive event in the heart of Nairobi at the Kenya National Archives. It's not just an event, it's sales generation with a remarkable return on investment. Get ready to let your booth do the talking as you study new market trends with lots of entertainment featuring traditional live bands, DJs and artists. For vendor registration, call 0724 715 334 or 0713 907 584 or 0723 861 173.
Beautiful, wonderful, glorious. We are having the show that we share entitled Shepherd Voice.
I'm waiting for you to get me to Kenya. That's what I'm waiting
for you.
God is the source of every blessings that flow into your life.
And I know that God is going to bless you and to do a new thing.
Pray, 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 pray.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
All right. Welcome back to the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. We are looking at President Dr. William Ruto's government scorecard. And if there's anything that you've witnessed from the first part of our debate here this morning, irrespective of where they fall, they're saying, we have questions, you're doing it wrong, you need to get it right. We are disgruntled, there's something that is not ticking. Now, let's take you back to the 2022 election. President Dr. William Ruto is a man who essentially campaigned on policies. And if you remember, majority of analysts say that what gave him headway in gaining more votes in these regions is because he opened economic forums where he used to speak to residents of these places where he wanted to target those polls and tell them exactly what he wanted to do for them. All this is in a bid then either to improve the ease of doing business in those areas and also give them economic wings. If these specific people are the ones who are complaining then about how 1 year down the line things are not essentially working, I asked this gentleman on set today, if this goes on all the way up to 2027 and the president is keenly saying that his hands are tied on those areas that touch close to the hearts of Kenyans, or the cost of living, are we just about to see a one-term president? That's the question. Ocheng has the mic this morning, and this is the question that he has to answer then. Ocheng.
Yes.
If you listen to the deputy president speak again, even when he goes to universities where you have your comrades over the other side, he says, guys, there are no jobs outside here. So when you get a chance to leave this country, you gotta leave. He's telling you that. And these are the same people that promise you those jobs when they're essentially taking power. Do you think, Ocheng, that majority of the youth that you represent here today will again turn around in 2027 and say, yes, I'm gonna elect you now? What promise do you think is gonna come with you in 2027 as well, which it didn't promise you in 2022? Ocheng.
Okay, first, I want to actually say that at the time of the elections, I didn't actually see Moses Kuria come to our village to seek election so that he can be elected to be the head of this state. It's William Ruto himself that worked all over the country and promised everything, promised us the goodies he talked about, like the economy. He promised that the economy will be good. We'll lower the cost of living by then, which was actually moderate.
Yes.
Yeah, he came and actually talked to us, and we let me just call them we, because we actually in this mess together.
Yes.
We gave him a mandate to lead this country. So his competent CSS and everything affecting this nation should actually lie solely on him. All blames will all give to him. And on the issue of employment, I think I actually heard him talk about the employment based on the affordable housing, to which he is offering Mjengo to the graduates. I'm not saying that that's bad for a graduate to do a Mjengo. But actually, why on the other side, why can't you also offer these other jobs for a course a person does? Yeah. On the issue of the coming election, whether he can be a one-term president, I feel this is actually a country onto which we have got some people, like a man can be told that tomorrow you'll give birth, and he believes. Some Kenyans are gullible, and you'll see in the coming years before the next election, just like we said 2 years before the election, will come with another narrative, and all will give in, and that's actually what's costing us as a country, because we see people believing what can actually be seen to be a truth. And when they are told, they just tend to believe so. Yes. And you'll see him getting the second term easily. Because if we check on the last election, actually a majority of us knew that he'll lose. From the so-called the deep states and so on, majority of us knew he'll lose. And I think...
but then, Ocheng, then can't you see that what essentially made him become president is on the back of these promises? They looked believable. They looked beautiful. They looked like they were talking to you. And if you remember, he said it's hustlers. Hustlers are vijana kama sisi bana, who are trying to make it, isn't it? It was speaking to you directly. If that is what made him beat the powers be, and he hasn't delivered on it, and you're the people asking these questions, don't you think then the second time he's not going to be lucky?
I think that comes only with the problems with the Kenyans. Like in the before elections, he'll play this for the next 2 years. Then when we are approaching the election, he'll come with other goodies and maybe mend this economy, reduce some of the pressure to the commodities and lower those Kenyans, and you'll just see a number of people giving in and voting him again.
That's it. Stephen, take over the mic. I'll be coming to you. Jose, it's up to you. The same question that I asked you, and I want to point you out some factors here that essentially have given us a time when majority of Kenyans have voted one way. I'll tell you that. When Mwai Kibaki was running for president back in 2002, there was this uniform feeling from majority of Kenyans. It's time for a change. And majority of critics will say that that's the only time Kenya saw a proper election. If you do remember, by the way, Jose, let me remind you, he was declared president when counting was not done. We waited for counting to get done. The counting was done after 5 days. But he was already president before the counting was done. If indeed there are reasons within the Kenyan space where we've seen the electorate vote one direction, and right now, if you speak to majority of Kenyans again, it seems that they're disgruntled about one thing in this particular government. Is this not something that you might call the one-way decider in an election, where you have somebody who's failed to deliver, and if you move across the country, in spite of where you are, you have this complaint? Is this what is going to make him a one-term president, Joseph?
For sure, Simba. President Ruto won't be a one-term president. He's going to win with actually a better margin that he won 2022 elections with. But the people who are tying him up, they need to untie him.
Yes.
That is the registrators. The parliamentary and the Senate, they need to untie the president.
How many people are blaming the CSS today?
Okay.
You
may not lay the blame,
yes,
but directly me,
yes,
I will lay the blame into them.
Joseph,
the CS,
yes,
for example.
When you speak to Dennis, is not, and you see what Cheng said. Moses Kuria didn't come to campaign.
No, he was amongst them.
That's
the
it,
president was talking.
Yes, but
he was there on the peripheral.
But Cheng is saying he didn't come to campaign.
He never would.
Yes.
Moses Kuria never would the president.
Fine, Joseph, that analogy, can you trickle it down then to every other person's common thinking? That I only know President Ruto when it comes to the cost of living.
The time that will be there in 2027 will be doing away with all these people who are elected under the banner of the UDA. That is the MCAs, the governors, the senators, and the parliamentarians who are tying our president from working, who are not actualizing or bringing the policies that are gonna work for us. They are the people who gonna be casualties. Who comes 2027. Then 2027 comes and goes in this way.
Just before you, I'm going to give you all the time. We've got 1 hour to go in this particular one. In this brand of this government, who's the face of this government?
The face is the president.
That's it. So if anything goes wrong in the government today, today we're talking about the cost of fuel. If you're going to talk about any other thing around it, majority of Kenyans will be saying, well, let's see what the Ministry of Energy is going to do and EPRA in unison. How are they going to adjust these prices, isn't it? But nobody's talking about this morning. Everybody's saying, well, look at what Ruto is going to do today.
As my friend Jimmy said, that we're going to move out from this cocoon of the independence, pre-independent minding of that it's the president who should do all this.
That's it. No.
Jimmy, the more we are suffering,
I get you.
The more we are suffering, the more we are getting to know who is responsible for what.
For all this. But how are you going to remove President Ruto from this? You cannot do that. It is his government,
it's
isn't
so
it?
easy. It's
so when it goes wrong, who do we look at?
We are getting enlightened. It's so easy. The more we get suffering, the more we get enlightened.
Joseph,
that's why.
Could I also put you on the spot? It's not like the president is not speaking on these issues. He's speaking on these issues, Joseph. Latest one being on the cost of fuel in this country. What did he say? He told us,
his hands are tied.
My hands are tied.
Yes.
All right.
Who is tying him?
So hold on. He didn't say. That's what we're saying. He didn't say.
But as we know,
he didn't say.
Who is saying? It's the parliamentarian.
That's it.
Those who pass the finance bill.
Who have majority what, Joseph?
Of the UDA.
The majority UDA.
And they'll be the casualties, not the president. So the president will be a two-term, but unfortunately, for my senator, for my governor, for the other people, they will be a one-term.
That's it. Jimmy, I'll be coming back to you by the way. Jimmy, you got all the time.
Before I go out,
yes,
I would say this.
Yes.
The benefits that we are getting,
yes,
it's because of the policies that were there.
That's it.
The problems that we are facing,
yes,
it's because of the unfulfilled policies that we have never received.
Joseph, just one
So
second.
the CS need to wake up.
Last question on this. It's a good thing you're ending your point on that. You're saying the CSs need to wake up. Joseph, point me to any video in the media today. All right? Point me to any video in the media today where you've had a Kenyan say, CS Njuguna, who's essentially in charge of planning and treasury, he needs to wake up. Hold on. Tell me, point me out to a video, other than just a couple of them, all right, where a specific CS, other than the famous Murkomen, Moses Kuria and Murkomen, yes, on these issues of JK and all that, is essentially getting pointed to. You need to wake up. You would say that 90% of the people are complaining. They're not complaining to any other person in this government. They're complaining to one guy who's in charge of all this. They're appointing authority. Mm-hmm. So is it not then okay to say that if it goes down, we're not looking at these individuals, we're only looking at the appointing authority? And you can't help it.
I'm saying the appointing authority,
yes,
he has already declared war unto the CS and said, my hands are tied. He has already declared war to the parliamentary by saying his hands are tied.
Declared war
so,
how, Joseph?
In this sense.
It's not declared war.
No. You may not get it,
yes,
but,
yes,
and I don't expect you to get it.
No, but please, I don't want to get it. Can you help our audience get it, Joseph? Can you help our audience get it?
So, yes, the audience and the people who that you pull out the video that say that these CSs are not working. Yes. Jimmy has spoken of the same, so you can pull up the video. I have already done so. You can pull up the video, and some more are coming up. So I beg to end at that.
Can you pass it, Alfred? Jimmy, I've got to come to you by the. You got like an entire 10 minutes. Okay, Alfred, all right. Just because we're on this, Alfred. Next is you, Stephen. Here's the thing. Okay. Same question, by the way. It's amazing, Stephen, how indeed you're also disgruntled so much with this government, but then you turn around and say, nah, he's going to be a two-term president. How, Stephen? How?
I think, Mr. Siba,
yes,
I think we are African.
Yes.
African, it is where the head of state, most of them,
yes,
it is only two countries in Africa where their president have never come back or have never been elected.
Yes.
It's only Nigeria where we had Goodluck Jonathan.
And
also we have another country in Africa. But the majority of sitting head of state, Ghana, Akuba Kido, yes. So if you look the other majority of East Africa, more so East Africa where we are coming from.
Yes.
I have never seen any head of state serving one term as the head of state and go home. I'm not a supporter of William Ruto. Majority of you know that. But let us talk the reality. Most of those serving in the current as a governors, senators, women rep, MP, MCAs, 90% they want to be re-elected. You can take that to the bank. Number two, if you listen to common mwananchi down there, there is a lot of cries.
Yes.
People are complaining. Actually, those mamambogas who supported this government 100%,
yes,
they are the first people to say, hawatu, hakuna mahali wanatuelekeza. Let us talk the real issues that are down there. Number three, I've heard my brother
Joseph,
trying to defend how the president he want to be questioned by the electorate. Joseph, I can tell you this as my brother and as a buddy, and I can tell you this for a fact. If the president would fail, the whole regime would be blamed. The same thread that the former president Uhuru Kenyatta followed when he failed, the same way would follow with the William Ruto administration.
Yes.
This is the time that the president needs to act as the head of state. He should not act as a president who is on campaign. He should act as a head of state. He's the commander.
Is he showing you that he's trying to act, Stephen? Because that's where majority of Kenyans are crying, that he's not acting.
The president is not... No.
Where's the signal? Yes, Jimmy, I'm coming back to you on that.
Let me conclude.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Siba,
yes,
if the CS let's say, if a CS is not working, President should not ask he should not call for a meeting to start interrogating. Why are you not working? The President himself is the one who gave them job. He should fire them. We have youth who are qualified. We have Akina William. We are there. We have majority of youth who are qualified to hold those positions who can deliver. This is not the time to say that if a certain CS is not there, that the country will not learn. We have been in this country where we have a powerful CS, powerful ministers. They have gone. Other were appointed.
Yes.
And the country is still learning. As I conclude, this is not the time to start focusing more on 2027. This is a time to focus on what the promises the current regime gave the Wajiko.
Pretty much.
If not, they are suit. Wajiko will have it and he will punish them badly.
That's it. All right, Kelly, take over. I'll be coming to you. William, you know, I ask this question because there's a pattern. And I want to bring to your attention that when people look at our democracy in this country, they say that we've taken a lot of steps. And critical analysis of the 2022 election say that it's for the very first time that you would say that a president rose to power just based on what their manifesto was about. And they preached it deeply to every other person, to the point that the whole term for hustler narrative and exactly what they were supposed to do was ingrained within their followers. Good. And they rose to that power, beat odds and expectations to rise to that particular set. Then, William, why are we sitting here then saying that with all this analysis that we're doing for elections, that all of a sudden now, we're saying, no, it's still going to be the same thing?
Simba, on this very studio, we have said time and time again that William Ruto ran a very successful campaign such that he looked like a miracle president or a revolutionary president. Why? Because he knew what to say, when to say it, and where. Because he had the right material. And we want to see the William Ruto of campaigning as the William Ruto as the president. He had the answers. Everything about him when he was campaigning, green light, check, check. Everything was good about him. If you look at how he won his election, every influential person, either on media or on ground, he brought them closer and he listened to their ideas. And that is where the revolution was born. Now, my worry would be such a brilliant presidential candidate becoming a one-term president. Now, William Ruto has said on many occasions, wajinga waliisha Kenya. True to his words, wajinga wanaendelea kuisha Kenya. And like my brother has said, pain is the best teacher. There is an economic pain that can unite people against every successful political strategy. Such that economical pain will unite Kenyans, and William Ruto's fate might be that of Raila Odinga and Uhuru in 2022. You know, with all the machineries and the presidential powers and money Uhuru bestowed on Raila Odinga, people are fed up with Uhuru such that they would not hear anything about him. There was a common pain that had united Kenyans, and that is still a possibility. We are living in a place where anything is possible with politics. And so William Ruto, my worry would be, if he does the things we are proposing right now towards the end of his term, then it comes out that he knew what to do, but he could not do it at the right time. He waited for the right time. But my worry would be the pain will have been so escalated to Kenyans such that they will not hear anything on his political arithmetics. Now my problem is, at the end of the day, have we beaten tribalism? We shall go back to our tribal cocoons in 2027. We shall forget about the economic pains and we shall regroup into our tribal cocoons. Let me finish.
Just on that particular one, by the way, you're going to clear. Just on that particular one for tribal cocoons. And that's why I'm saying that didn't we see a time in this country where tribe was not a factor in the way the majority of Kenyans voted? That's the question I'm asking William, that there's something that overrides tribe in this country, and we've seen it before. Is economy going to be that factor this time around?
Yes. It has to be because William Ruto came as an economic savior.
That's it.
If that is the power that brought his presidency about, then that has to be the power that sustains his presidency. You know where I come from, we say the power that lifts the airplane from the ground is the same power that sustains the airplane on there, up there. So the power that lifted William Ruto in his presidency, which was the economic promise and the economic power, that is the power that will sustain his presidency. Unfortunately, if that does not happen, because we have come from afar as a country to beat tribalism under William Ruto's presidency. Remember, this is the first time. This is a man who gave the presidency the first shot, and he got it. You know, all analysis were saying he cannot be the president with the first shot, but he beat all the odds to become the president under the promise of reviving the economy. Now my problem is, after 1 year into his presidency, the pain and the murmurs and the noise has only escalated. People are not feeling the warmth of his presidency, and that is the truth. And that is why we are saying William Ruto the people might be so much united with pain such that any political arithmetics in 2027 might not work for him. So he needs to do something about the economy. And again, I say, my problem and worry would be the things we are proposing right now, he does them in 2026, 2027, in his very debated, heated campaign time. So we expect these young people who are looking for jobs. By the way, we do not expect William Ruto to create jobs. We expect him to create a conducive environment to create jobs. And what is a conducive environment? Policy making. You know, just create policies for these guys to create jobs for themselves. You know, it is such a sad state of affair that these graduates are looking for jobs when they are the guys who should be creating jobs. The problem is they don't know where to start. The country is not helping them because these are guys endowed with education. These are guys endowed with dreams. Give them a platform to execute those dreams, and you will be surprised what they will do for this country. And I'm telling you, if we capitalize on the dreams and the education of these young people, we can create an economic revolution by 2030, such that we will be importing labor when every other person is employed in this country by the dreams and the inspirations and the education of these young people.
Here's the thing, Alfred, I'm now on you as well. You've been an SG before. I don't know whether you ran in again and were re-elected. You're going to give us exactly the trend that normally happens when you're having those local elections right now. I don't know how far you're going to go with it, but I want to listen to it. When you look at what we're talking about now, and I know you're a good politician, you know the history of politics in this country. I mean, when you speak to your friends, it's a good thing that you even have your friends. Myself, I would say, Jimmy, I've got friends who come from Ruto's backyard, and they're the saddest people. In fact, they're the most disappointed. You know, they say, we supported him on the back of those. By the way, here's an analysis, Stephen, even as you talk to your guys, the most disappointed people with Ruto are the ones who supported him. Hapo ndio kuna uchungu. Unaongelesha hai bana. You know, that's it, isn't it? On this particular issue, hapo ndio kuna uchungu, and they speak bitterly about how much they're disappointed. The only question you wonder is that how far can they be pushed to say, no, we love you, but not going to happen, isn't it? That's the question I'm putting to you.
But Simba,
yes,
that is now what is there on the ground. Yes. Most of the people, even they don't want to associate themselves with anything called UDA on ground. And even my friends here know. The moment you will go to ground there, even outside here, and start saying that Ruto tano tena.
It's a thunder. Is it too early to talk about it? Isn't it?
Even if you are testing the waters, even if you are testing the waters, yes. The feedbacks which you will get, even the people who voted for him, it will be a negative feedback.
Well, Alfred, you're not told us. Are you testing the waters for 2027?
Yeah, why not?
Everything is possible.
Be clear by now. Because we know Kiamba have somebody from this house. By it's already been rubber stamped.
Yes.
by two strong politicians.
Two strong politicians. It's good.
Okay, 2027, God willing, I'll be vying for a Senate in my county.
Very nice.
Woo! Yeah. Bwana Senator.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
A lot of guys.
Changes in this studio today.
Listen. Yo, even as you speak, hapa naona kazi umepata. I don't know why. I don't know why you're struggling so much, man. Just tell me whatever you want. I've got a senator, 2 senators, and 1 MP. Yes. And the CS. And the CS. Dennis.
We have potential employers.
Done and dusted.
Don't need an application.
By the way, don't talk about
CVs.
Don't talk about our employment, because in 3 years you have a job. Listen, let's get
in 3 years.
Yeah. In fact, start applying, bwana. Start applying mapema.
Tengeneza portfolio.
No, please. 3 years uko sawa. Yes. 3 years uko sawa. All right, let's play this.
Thank you, Simba.
Yeah.
So 2027, God willing, I'll be going for senator in Homa Bay County, and I will request the youths to go for these positions, because we are the people suffering here on ground. But let's not go to those positions with the mentality that pia si wacha tuingie hapa tukule. Let's go there and work for the mwananchi. But if you come back to the current situation in the country, actually it is not pleasing at all, because this is the time where you'll find that maybe your neighbor is retiring to bed without a food for maybe even a day, not because he wished to, but because due to the situation which is there on the ground. Everything is high. Everything has hiked. Even the salad, I can say that the cooking oil which we are using, the last time I was in supermarket, it was 4,100.
Yes.
But today it's 4,800. So you wonder, how will we survive? Because for us, we depend maybe on the 20,000 salaries or 10,000. But for our parents, I'm still a student.
Yes.
So you find that even that 20,000, it is very hard to accommodate the family itself. Paying school fees, paying rent, and maybe doing other emergencies. That money is not enough, because you are being deducted by the government almost half of your salary. At the end of the day, you remain with nothing. That's where now the depression will come in and people will start committing suicide. And I want to tell my brother Joseph is that William Ruto is the president of this country. He's the father of the family known as Kenya. If anything is going wrong within the family, it is the father who will correct the mess. So other people who are within the family, like I can say the CSS, they were appointed by our president so that he can assist him to achieve the goals which were there in his manifesto. But all these people, they went there to loot, because 90% of the cabinet, they are not technocrats, they are politicians who vied for governors, senators, and MPs, and they never managed to go into those positions. Some were taken from Senate to resign so that they can be CSS. But if you look, a good example is the Minister of Road.
Yes.
He was a senator, he was elected, but later on, he resigned. Then he was appointed as a cabinet. If you can look, things are not working. It is now twice when we have seen blackout in the country. And they are just there giving us rumors on letters on their Twitter, currently known as X.
Yeah.
So these people are not working. If you look, like they were saying, that every weekend you can find that they normally have, I don't know what is known as interdenomination.
Yes.
Where they will go to maybe a certain county, a whole team. But I'm very happy if they go, I'm very happy to say this.
Yes.
It's not about tribe, but I'm very happy to announce this. If they happen to go to Mount Kenya, the best thing they will say, Murega. Let them come back to Nyanza. We have roads, we have water. The presidents are launching. I'm very happy about that. But if they go to Mount Kenya, it's all about prayers. So it seems like there are many demons in Mount Kenya.
That's right.
I think the president is not the problem.
No,
our leaders.
We have a deputy. No.
That's it.
I'm very happy. It seems like there are many demons in Mount Kenya which need prayers. That's why the president continues visiting there every Sunday for prayers. But the moment he's in Nyanza, I'm very happy. For the first time, president was in my rural village. He's the first president, the sitting president, to be in my village and launch a road. I'm very happy, and the people of Homa Bay received him, because at the end of the day, when the president's there, he will launch the road. Then he will go back. The road will remain there with us. But on this other side, just continue. Just a minute.
That's it.
I
1 minute.
I want to correct my brother, Joseph, Baba Helsi, that the people surrounding the president, starting from the MCA, they won't go anywhere. Those will be in UDA because the president needs numbers. In the county assembly and in the parliament and the senate, those people will go nowhere. They will remain there as MP. They will remain there. That's the truth. That's the truth. Maybe you start.
We'll have numbers, but we shall replace.
Maybe if you start calculating for 2032, by 2027, your MP will remain your MP. Your governor will remain your governor. Your senator will remain your senator because they are loyal to the president and they are submitting to the president. They don't submit to Mwananchi. And as long as you are submitting to the father of the state, you are well and good.
Alfred.
Definitely. Yes. It will be a 6-piece voting time. Where wanasemanga unapiga ya mshipi. You don't even look if this person is competent or incompetent. Piga. Yes.
That's it. Alfred, I'll be coming to you for closing statements on this.
Thank you.
But I want you to pass over the mic to Jimmy because then after Kelly has answered this particular question, Kelly, again, I keep on referring to you because if the jobs are not going to come from this side, and your deputy is speaking completely different from what they say within the campaign period, do you feel that the people within your class now would essentially not vote for him?
Thank you. Hope is a very good breakfast and a very bad supper.
That's it. Hope, isn't
yes.
it?
Yes.
I like. Guys, did you hear that quote? This is what Kelly's saying. Kelly's saying hope is a very good breakfast. But the worst kind of supper you'll ever have. Kelly, why?
You'll find that in the start, we were promised the employment. We were promised so many things by the government.
Yes.
But we are now being disappointed by the term the deputy was using recently at KU, that there is no job. They were saying that after we get into the power, there will be jobs. But the jobs that we are seeing is the jobs in the affordable housing, where professional people like the doctors, the nurses, which job are they going to do in the site?
Affordable housing.
So,
that's it. First aid.
Yes. Yeah. There's no job. There's no job.
That's it. Yeah.
You can't be a doctor and you go to Mjengo. That is degrading the graduates. So what I'm seeing in the near future, even in the recent past, you found that there's this MP called he went to Bomet. This MP that is fighting with the governor Arati.
I know him.
Remind me the name. Osoro went to Bomet, and the way they were talking about maybe Ruto and praising Ruto, the Bomet people chased Osoro away from the site. This is because this is just telling you that in the next 2027 there is no room for these people because they promised the people that they are going to deliver.
Yes.
And the way I'd said that hope is a very good breakfast, but a bad supper.
Yes.
We were expecting so many things that even the connectivity that the president was saying about the internet, we expected that by now, actually he was saying by December when he was getting that we are going to have internet and everybody will now be having internet at the comfort zone. And right now, hata ukiwa kwa nini bundles zinaisha na unashangaa what is there. So another thing you'll find, okay, I want to commend the president for taking part in addressing the issue of the universal health care and even the fertilizer subsidies, because at least he's trying to manage the food security through the affordable fertilizers to the common mwananchi. But we expect much from him because when much is given,
much is
expected.
Much is expected, isn't it?
We voted for him overwhelmingly.
Yes.
And we now request him to reciprocate back the dreams that we were expecting to get from him.
Yes. Kelly, I'm going to ask you one question before I cross over to Jimmy, and I'm going to put you on the spot today. I like the way you say we voted for him overwhelmingly. Today, if we have to, in one way or another, hold an election tomorrow, all right, would you vote for President Dr. William Ruto? I'm not saying, well, you can say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to vote for him because from what he's saying, he's just talking of long-term solutions and long-term intervention.
Yes.
But Kenyans need short-term intervention.
Yes.
You can't be telling us of affordable housing, which will take years for it to mature. And there are people who here need maybe food. And he also need to highlight the issue of high cost of living.
That's Kelly. Just leave it there. Jimmy, you know what? I know the answer you're going to give me. I'm not going to ask you that question. No. Jimmy, I know the answer you're going to give me. But maybe just let me twist that question in this way. Jimmy, I know you're going to tell me it's never going to be a one-time president. It's never going to be. But what can make him a one-term president? Maybe if I ask you like that, then our audience is going to benefit. What can make him a one-time president?
What can make His Excellency Dr. William a one-term president first is the inception of a wrong click of working. And an inception of a wrong click of working is, I want to go back to Karen, him as a deputy president. For him to have had a formidable campaign team, Karen was made up of 90% of the youth. After power, we saw the old folks come back in their colors, and they are the ones now working. That is why we do not have solutions. I said, I did some other interview in our TV, and I said, there is one thing asking Baba to help you, and there is another one asking him, how can I sort this issue? If you bring Baba, Raila Amolo Odinga, and ask him what is the price of diapers, he might actually not understand what diapers is to start with, before you get to make him understand this is what is happening. So, like I said, why I'm Mount Kenya Youth Chairman is because we propagate. This government will go 90% down because they forgot about the youth. And the youth, there's nothing peculiar about those guys in the CSs. Nothing. 2, 1, 3 degrees, 1. We have youth with PhDs. So there's nothing much those guys are doing that any youth, like that gentleman or that gentleman who has graduated, cannot. There's nothing new. His Excellency, the President, made it a youth hub in Karen. If you ever wanted to see innovation, even out to Pangwingwi, those things used to be launched where? They used to be launched in Karen, true or false? That is where Uhuru lost it. Yes, and it hit him. Now, Karen, and I have tried talking, shouting to His Excellency, our Deputy President. You've heard what that gentleman from Siaya said. Mount Kenya, they come for prayers. But in Siaya, they go for development. I am telling our Mount Kenya leaders, stop fanatical following the president. You already have a job. That job for 2027, we will pray God gives you life. But it's not guaranteed, But there is a guarantee that you have one right now. His Excellency must go back to the youth. That is the period. The youth have the solution of this country. Those ones don't. They don't. Those ones just went there to steal.
We are recycling people who have not offered.
Why are you recycling guys to go get the WU Ambassador Award? For what? This country is robust in terms of leadership and the quality of young people that we have. In fact, Kenya is one of the countries.
It can't dare do that.
No, he can't.
It can't dare not recycle them because then that can make him a one-time president.
That's the worst part is they only hold like 15% of the vote basket. And put another 15% which is their money. So 70% of the vote basket is from the youth. I said 15% their money.
Yes, 15% the vote. Yes.
So 70% is the youth. And this youth,
let me ask you a question.
You don't need,
ask you a question.
If you want to have a bad day, that's why His Excellency Uhuru left Twitter and all social media. He just, I think he saw 10 people abusing him. He was like, oh my God, is this really, you know, if you want to have a bad day, play with Kenyans on social media. We are the best in the world. We have hit everyone. We don't have anybody who has been able to hit us. Even Americans, they'll tell you, don't. Even Nigeria tell you, don't try those Kenyans.
Burna Boy was complaining about Kenyans online. He was like, I don't understand what do I do? What do I do?
We can make like we made, and we made His Excellency William Ruto. Unfortunately, in Mount Kenya, alituhengesha kidogo. And that is why I also propagated that come 2027, if this goes on, we are telling Didi Nyoro, MP Kiaru, Jipange. That's it. It's yours as a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya as a youth. And I will not stop saying that. Because these guys, I'm telling you, you know, jobs are being dished out in bars, hotels. You just need to take 2 mbuzis to some wazes there. You have a job.
Wait, Dennis.
That is what we are fighting for.
Kuna mbuzi mbili mahali bwana. Tulisema ngoje miaka 3 kama kuna mbuzi mbili mahali.
Talking of hunger pants.
Yes.
Nitapeleka nini dawari?
Huyu sasa hajakula. Anakula smocha.
Full of education.
That is why I'm saying that's why I'm saying this country
is full of education and dreams and inspirations.
That is what we fought against in the previous government. These placements of Ati Kujuana. I am telling you, I have never seen Kujuana worse in the history of this republic, like what we are seeing right now. 1 year ago, we have been begging for jobs, not because we are stupid, but because we have solutions. I fought with the deputy president on matters Nyeri, because you can't do. Tell this guy to go to Nyeri Golf Club and have some tea. I don't even know the price, probably 1,000 plus. Plus it's fair. I think he'll go with that money there. 3,000. Does this guy afford that? That was not a Mount Kenya meeting. And I am saying, and I will say again, His Excellency Rigathi is supposed to be the buffer for the president. He has to have an economic team, and an economic team must include 90% youth. Nothing. These guys know their problems. Who doesn't know your problem? Comrades know their problems. True.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they know
yes.
problems.
We have 2 minutes. You're the last one to speak. Just 2 minutes, isn't it? Just 2 minutes, if we can. Can you clear this? Do you think that there is a chance for him again if this continues? 2 minutes, Dennis.
Number one, let me say this, and allow me to say this. Yes. Almost every leader here, or anybody who has political aspirations, has read the 48 laws of power. 12 force. It is all about the art of manipulation and deception. It is all political. Like this is what is happening in our country and in our leaders. They are using us. They are lying to us, telling us that there is a good future. But what is really happening? Nothing. You see, in the 48 laws of power, it's all about how you can lie to people, the ways that you can use so that you can achieve your own goals. I want to speak directly to Kenyans and tell you that maybe our time has come when we have to speak up. We don't have to see our members of parliament discussing issues in parliament only for them to be changed at State House. The member of Mwingi West said, actually, the other day, he said himself that parliament is no longer working. What we are doing, ni pesa tu tunakula, but our laws, our policies that we are implementing, they are being changed at State House. So once the people go to their members of parliament, huko kwa kijiji ama in their own constituencies, do they work for you? Yes. Go and pressure them. Tell them that we need this. Pressure the MPs. And once you pressure the MPs will pressure the president. Yes. And we cannot keep blaming ourselves or blaming these people, and yet, again, we are still the people who can do these changes. Yes. It all begins with us. And we are failing as a nation, we are failing as the citizens. Because right now I'll be saying that the government is not working, I'm going to be rebuking everything that they are doing. But once I receive a phone call all the way from State House, or maybe a governor, kuja tuongee, your mind is spoiled, and now you're for the government. Yes. Because wewe mwenyewe umesaidika. Ushasahau hata ulini wewe tu ulikuwa unapiga kelele juzi. So I want to tell you, citizens of Kenya, do not be manipulated. Do not be like the lost sheep. Like mnapelekwa tu hivi kwa shimo, ingieni tu hapo na unaingia tu. You see? So this is what is happening in our country. There is no longer what we call public confidence. Our leaders are using the sweetest words. Yes. To convince us. Yes. They are using money.
Yes, in 1 minute.
I've just told you what is happening nowadays. When there is an event somewhere, maybe there is a phone call that is made by the state officials. How many people can you mobilize? Ongea na vijana waite, there is something that we are going to supply. Kuna kakitu, tutawapea fare, tutawapea kakitu. And then what happens? Since mmesikia hapo kuna pesa, there is money, nyinyi wote mnakuja hadi na mabasi. And the politician is happy. The politician is able to communicate, to speak, and is able to attest that I am powerful, I'm here and I can deliver. But we have to be serious as a nation. It is not working, yes. And we have to come out, yes, as the youth, being the 60% of this nation. Yes. Speak up, deliver, and once you get there, please don't change, because we get there and then namna hiyo, unaanza kutudanganya tu ovyo ovyo. Unasahau Kenya ulikuwa unasema.
That's what I was privileged today, because even if we talk about what next, the what next is right here in the House. We do have 2 senators, 1 member of parliament, and 1 CS. Even if that is an example, then we've essentially gotten there. So today, we wait to see exactly what happens next, as APRA gets ready then to announce to you what the fuel prices are going to be for the next 1 month. Like they've said, touch it. You touch on the cost of living. Which way forward for President William Ruto and his government? Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. Take them back online to the time that you joined us this morning at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiangasimba. Next, tomorrow is a good day to do this all of a sudden, isn't it? Goodbye. See you guys.